All right, folks, we're back. Monday morning, last day of the month today, last day of the month. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you got off the screens, did some things that make you feel good, got some resting time, spent some time with some family and friends. Make sure you're coming to the screens today feeling rested. If that isn't the case, you need to make note of it. Go through your checklist this morning. Are you prepared? Have you done your morning preparation? Have you eaten enough? Have you drunk enough? Have you slept enough? Are you feeling a little bit tilty or emotional from other factors outside of trading? All right, make sure you're aware of yourself before you even think about taking a trade today, especially today. Why? Because it's Monday, all right, and there's a huge gap down and we have a lot of volatility in the market as we get ready for these tariffs coming this week. All right, they're coming on Wednesday this week. All right, so a lot of fear in the market. As always, we're going to start in top-down analysis. Right, so let's start off in the daily chart. First thing to note, there's Friday's close. There's the gap down. All right, so straight away, weak market, downtrending market. Last week we had this gap up, Monday, Tuesday high, and a beautiful failure. Exactly what we were looking for. And we rode that down. This day here, especially Friday, was beautiful, wasn't it? Really nice day on Friday. What do we need to note, though? Where can we potentially get stuck here? Where are the levels of liquidity? Well, we've already swept one level overnight. This was the current year low. All right, we've already taken it overnight. So we need to be aware of that. And that is the same on the ES and the spiders. Now, I almost got that wrong and said, hey, it's not the same. We haven't swept it on the ES, but I rolled through a couple of the contracts and we have. So it's really important that you keep going back to the ETFs, all right? In these kind of market conditions where we're one and almost two contracts back in terms of price action, you're going to have these weird gaps where we have 300-point gap ups on the rollover and they will make price a little wonky. So a little tip for you, go back to the ETFs, check the ETFs, they will help you. But overnight, yes, we've swept this yearly low. Where are we coming down to? This Bollinger Band, all right? We know price does not like to expand past the Bollinger Band, right? You can go back over the history of time. Like, yes, we've been a little bit weaker in this downside move. Here's the Bollinger Band, all right, here. And very rarely does it close underneath it. Normally wicks up and closes just inside or by it. So I want to be careful shorting lows down here, don't I? I don't really want to be short in the hole down here. Where was the best short? It was here and here and here. Swing shorts right now are having a lot of fun. New money shorts. Do we want to be chasing a short at yearly lows into the Bollinger Band? Not ideally. There is a setup there that might happen, and that will be based on the range we've created overnight that we're going to go into, but we want to be careful. Here again, we've got this 5-day, 20-day cross. The 5-day went over, like we talked about, a bit of a trap, and then coming back down. What we want to see now is the 5-day and the Bollinger start to trend just like they did here, okay? And if we get that, all right, if we're going to stay heavy, where are we looking at? We're looking at sort of these capitulation events down here. This is going back quite a long time here into 2024. All right, but this big old wick, and we found the buyers on it, and we came back and back tested that level and found buyers. We know there's lots of strength in this market here. Lots of higher time frame buyers came in this market here and caused, what, a 2,000 plus point rally? It was even more than that, wasn't it? Where do we head up? Almost 4,000 point rally. All right, so we want to be careful as we get into these levels, right? Because these buyers caused this rally. So I'm looking to target somewhere into these levels, really. Maybe somewhere into, to start with, or we can talk about 600s and then into 400s, and then if we fail that, down lower. Also, what I went through with my team yesterday in Discord is we can think about expansions on a fib, and then we have beautiful confluence, all right, into the 161. Lines up almost perfectly with this wick here. So if we're going to get a 161 fib extension, we're looking for this. So leg 1, pullback, leg 2, that would be fairly common. And then maybe rest of the year, if they do some form of recovery, we might get something like that. Maybe they save that for next year. We'll have to see. We will have to see. So I want to be very careful getting short today. It's not that I don't want the short. I'd love the short, but momentum, fantastic. All right, location, not so good. All right, so we're going to have to wait. Moving through to the hourly then, we can get a few more clues on the hourly. Let's have a little look right here. So again, Friday, big waterfall moment. All right, we just kept washing down and down and down and down, and we've left point of control up here, sort of 485. And this grey box is our gap down overnight. And then overnight, most of what we did overnight, to be honest, was consolidate. All right, it's a large range, but it is consolidation. You can see it. I'm just going to take this off here for a second. You can see it. All right, so we gap down from Friday. We gap down, here's Sunday. All right, so there's the big wash. And then after this, really all we're doing is going back and forth, and there's the swipe of the yearly lows before trading inside, and we're stuck in this range. So I'm not too interested about a trade in this range, to be honest. And if we're going to stay in this range all day, it is very, very possible that I don't take a trade here, because I think this is probably one of the easiest areas for short traders to get stuck today. Because where is a better location? If we zoom out, where is structure? There's not much structure on the hourly, is there? Not really, until we get all the way back up here, which is very unlikely for us to do at all. If we get there, it would almost feel bullish if we got up there. So what I want to be careful of are previous day lows, previous day closes, and this Globex high and Globex low. Failed break over this, maybe we get that return back in. Fail break under that, maybe we get return back out. And then if we go under and stay heavy, there's a trend trade. If we get over and stay bullish, there is a counter trend trade, not a trend trade, counter trend trade up into this gap. All right, and then we can think about what's in that gap. Maybe it makes more sense here on a 5-minute. You can see it a bit more clearly. Here's the range, Asia and London. All right, there's the failed breakout, sweeping liquidity. We want to be very careful now about trading short side. The better short side is sort of almost if we come up and take it, and then we get a range trade down to here, partial runners. This trade's going to be hard today. You know, if it just breaks underneath, retest, there is a short trade there, but it's harder in terms of risk reward. So I want to be careful about that today. The long, again, the long will be above this level. It will either be a failed break like we've had here. That's a nice long up. Or it'd be above this level and a hold for a squeeze up. When we're thinking about where we can squeeze up to, we're looking at previous day levels, aren't we? So if we zoom out here, all right, this green line, that's our previous day low. So a hold above here, we can target maybe 326 and then 350s. Why do I like this level specifically on the Globex high? We didn't sweep anyone. Look how many stops are in here. 1 set, 2 set, 3 set, 4 set, 5 set. No one's been taken out. They're sitting a little bit comfortable for my liking right now. So an ideal scenario would be to take these shorts out, failure, and then offer that range short back down. If we take them out and hold, then we're looking for that trade back up, and we're looking for previous day low, previous day close. Once we're in this gap, grey box, and the previous day low and previous day close, I expect higher time frame shorts to start coming back into this market. All right, that's what I would expect at that point. So I want to be very, very cautious. It's not going to be an easy day because of the range that's been created overnight. But somewhere up here, you would expect shorts to come back in the market and look for that rotation lower. Acceptance over previous day close, I'd be very, very cautious about touching anything short at that point, because we have a lot of liquidity built up here in Friday. I don't think it does this, but if it does and it chomps its way through this, it can do a rather large back test of where we broke down from. Remember, technically, most of the back test would be all the way up to here. All right, and then we'd have to think about, do we get supply or do they trap and go again upside? So it all depends who's stuck in the hole. Right now, bulls are absolutely stuck. Shorts are in total control. Don't get that confused. Shorts are in control. I'm not really thinking about much upside today at all. The only reason we will go upside big and recover in this market would be if come April 2nd, when these reciprocal tariffs come on, there's some sort of reversal when they're like, hey, we're not going to put them on. You know, we're happy to come to deals and all these kind of things. You know, if we've overpriced in, if we've priced in fear too much, then we get that move. Having a look at the VIX then, VIX gapping up, sitting at 24s right now. All right, very, very big gap up. Is that bullish for the market? Hell to the no. That is not bullish for the market. It's very, very bearish, right? We are in a risk-off, fear max fear kind of situation right now. Looking at the ETFs, they're nicely in sync with everything else going on in the market right now. Like I said, SPYs took the yearly lows, finding a little bit of a bid back over VWAP here to see how it reacts. QQQ is exactly the same. Took the yearly lows, coming back with a little bit of a bid here, back over VWAP. ES exactly the same. And we can have a quick look at the mag here as well. Let's do that on this screen. Let's move this to a 5-minute and do this all together. All right, so having a look at Apple. Gapping down, you can see there's big flush coming into the market right here as we've moved over. There's previous day close, previous day low, so gapping down on Apple. It's going to be gapping down on everything, I would imagine. Microsoft very weak. That's a big old gap down from 79s almost, opening up around 72.50s, gap down. Amazon gapping down, big gap down, taking out current lows right now. Google the same. We're going to have the same across the board here, folks. Meta showing a bit more strength, but still gapping down, but it's trying to find a pivot here. You can see the difference in this. Meta trying to find strength. Meta, by the way, has been probably the strongest this year, I'd imagine, setting new highs earlier in the year. Nvidia gapping down as well, and Tesla gapping down. So the whole market getting absolutely wrecked right now. Absolutely wrecked. We're in a big old downtrend. Friday caused massive fear, and that's where we're at right now. So we can't really be, or we don't really want to be trading against that. But again, like I always talk about, we talk about location and momentum, right? Location and momentum. Momentum's been fantastic to the downside, but swing traders are having their day right now. Everyone who's swing short from, you know, the close of Tuesday, open of Wednesday, anytime Thursday and Friday are making an awful lot of money right now. And as day traders, what we have to be careful of is our location, because the location's not ideal. We don't really want to be short at yearly lows, do we? Right, so you need to be very, very, very aware of that. We have about 3 minutes left till the open. Let's get through some good mornings, check how you're all doing and all that jazz. Do me a favor, over 100 of you here, only 19 of you have hit that like button. Smash that like button for me. Good morning, Clint, Trentry, Ramus, Miguel, Ryan, Julian, Thumper, Logan, Arturo, Slash, Eva, Peter, Go for Hill, Jesse, Mindful Matters, Michael Pope, Jeff Stewart, Christy, TR, Pat, Brandon, DJ Noah, Lindell, John Dennis, Leron, Andrus, Array, Brad, Coop, Paul, Myron, Minix, Louis, and Agaas, and ASD. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Did you all have a good weekend? Did any of you catch this move overnight? I will tell you, I did catch a bit of it. All right, I did take a short yesterday. It's testing. I'm currently testing my flow zones on NinjaTrader. I got the new version back, almost ready. I want to make a couple more amendments and have this as like an all-in-one indicator that does absolutely, well, pretty much everything I teach in there for you. So it just makes it nice and easy. What I will say is that trade I took was on an eval account. I was not willing to risk any PA accounts as I went through testing conditions on NinjaTrader on the new indicator in case it was wrong, but happily it was printing everything very, very well. Let's have a quick look at the book then. Big order, well, biggish order before the open. He is sitting down at 150. Trying to scroll down here and see if there's anything underneath him. Can't see anything. As we come back to those Globex lows, into the orange box. Absolutely no rush on a Monday. Yeah, quite right, Peter. I'm the same. That trade was taken in the Asia session. I was short in here for the test back down. I think it was there, or it might have been either there or there. I'd have to go back on the screens and have a look, just for test purposes to make sure. It probably actually was here. I was probably testing this level here, making sure that was working nicely. But you can see overnight just in a range. All right, breaking out of the range downside, traded back inside the range, coming back down to test the bottom of the range currently. ATR is pretty big. This might look small, but the top side of this range is basically 272, and the bottom side that we've held most of the time is 162. So you're in 110 points here of chop. All right, this is 110 points. You want to be very careful with your sizing. Obviously, if we break down and get continuation underneath yearly lows, we just keep melting like we talked about. But let's see. Let's see. I'm just going to reply to a couple of messages here. Here's the open drive up here. Let's have a look. So holding those Globex lows, finding a bid so far. Let's have a look. Apple, the only one green so far. Wow. Tesla, 5% down at the open. Nvidia, 3.72% down. Meta, 2% down. Google, 0.5% down. Amazon, 2.5% down. Microsoft, 2% down. And Apple, it was green, trying to go red to green, now going green to red. So just a bit of kerfuffle here. Going to let it do what it needs to do. There we go, washing. Sorry, folks, I've got to reply to this. All right, let's have a little look here. Sorry, folks. So coming into the old yearly lows, remember overnight we did sweep these. So this would be a sweep in a cash session if we come under here. Momentum very, very heavy in this market, but location absolutely terrible right now. I have some bids on this tape down into 100 and sub of 100. Here we go. So coming into these yearly lows, overnight low right here into 17s. Let's see how we react there if they dip under it and find a bid. ES not there yet. ES slightly stronger. You can see tech very, very, very heavy this morning. If we put this on, you can see just absolutely bleeding on the NQ, almost a whole % heavier than the ES right now. So tech very, very heavy. Letting this settle down. Do not want to be short in the lows here personally. It's not my setup. If it's your setup, that's fantastic. But this is not my setup to be shorting lows. We're currently at lows of year. All right, lows of year right now. Breaking down. We're onto that daily Bollinger Band right now. If we're really going to melt here, like I said, we can move down for a move for 18,400. That would be the level I'd be really interested to see how we react. I don't know if we do that today, if they come max fear in the market or not, but that would be the level I'd be considering a move into. Let me zoom out on the hourly. See if I can see another level here. It might want to go and attack. No. Some congestion into sort of 18.6, but yeah, I think 18.4 is where it wants to go. Very heavy here, like we said. Not looking to long this, but cannot join this. No, absolutely no structure here to join off. It's just a liquidity break right now. Maybe could have taken that morning shove this morning, but kind of hard to think about that, isn't it? Letting this settle down. Big move here this morning already. Look at that. Already 150 points off that morning drive up and 150 point pew. Like I said, you've got to watch your ATR here. Absolutely have to watch your ATR here. Yeah, I know, Coop. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. So absolutely no pops. Right, ES about to sweep its overnight lows here. And as we trade all the way down into that 19,000 level, ES very close to sweeping overnight lows. VIX trying to break out over its overnight highs. There you go. ES now breaking overnight lows. So trading into 5,550 psychological level here, I would say, on the ES. Nothing more than that. Is it going to give us a way to get involved today? That's the question. NQ already 2.25% down. That is massive. All right, average red day for NQ would be 2%. So we're opening up way under that already. There's the sweep. ES trying to reclaim. We're very extended from flow zones here, remember? Very, very extended. Uh, 135 lots sitting at the 19,000 right now, looking to get filled. ES starting to reclaim this old yearly low. Look at this big drive up. You have to be careful here. We're kind of thin in how we're moving. There's a lot of panic in it. It's a Monday morning. You do not want to get oversized here. Look at the ATR. It's been up at 50 plus points this whole time. You want to be really, really careful. Do they come back in and hammer this? There's a seller here now at 125 and another seller at 225, both 100 lots. So does the next drive up get sold into? I want to be super careful here this morning. We're very, very extended to the downside. Even though I'd like to be a seller, just the location for me personally, not particularly great. Not particularly great to be a seller here this morning. So watching that drive back upside now. The liquidity break overnight here was into 118s. 118s to 136 is going to be key, how we act up there. If we stay heavy, if we don't, if we get acceptance back inside that old range, we go back into the sort of chop fest. Let's do everything that I've already forgotten to do here this morning. You can tell it's Monday. Where's our 9:30 print? Right here. Let's get that in. And let's get a view up on that print because we're extended down. There's our New York view up. Let's do that as green. There we go. So back into average price since the open, based on volume. Finding some sellers there so far. Do they do a bear flag for breakdown, or do we need more relief higher now? So heavy here. We can't get any retracement really into some sort of imbalances and some structure here. Going to have to let it build out some structure here for a little bit. Very early in the session still, folks. You're only 7 minutes in. Starting to build out some structure here. I'd like to see this squeeze back upside and then see what we can offer. I just really want to see who's stuck in this market down here. Do we get lower time frame shorts? Nice, Max. Everything very, very bearish right now. But again, we're extended. I'm not looking to enter shorts at current year lows. I'm not looking to enter shorts at current year lows. It's not how I like to play. Need to see buyers stuck in the market for me to enter a short. This is very, very risky down here to be playing a continuation short. Currently 388 points down on the session, or on the day, we should say, rather than the session. Watching VIX here. VIX did break the overnight high and is trading back inside right now. See if it finds a bid on an old RBS level here or not. Market still remains heavy. All of the mag very, very, very heavy. Yeah, you're right, Peter. Chicago business PMI. Light news, 9:45. So finding a bid in front of those 19,000s, I would expect they're going to come for those. It's just a question of when. And we're starting to build out a bit more structure here. You can see like they're starting to take their time building out some structure now versus this New York view up. Relief over that, then we probably come and retrace and come and test like the sort of opening price and then have to see who gets stuck up there. You know, ATR is big here, folks. It remains big. Be careful. ES being weak here. Coming back down towards its current low of day. So bear flag starting to play out here if they can break those lows. It's a big if right now, but that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to test the 19,000. Would have liked a little bit more momentum upside before they rolled over, like a second leg would have been ideal. ES now breaking low of day. Is the NQ going to join in here? VIX right at high of day. Yeah, liquidity on the tape here. There's lots of 100 lots stacked up here. 125, 150, 175, 200. They're looking for a pop-up to get short into right now. I don't know if the market's going to give it to them, but that's what they're looking for. 100 lot seller at 125, 150, 175, 200, and 225. Don't know if it's going to give it to them, though. This bear flag looks heavy. ES breaking low of day. This just looks like it's just going to roll here. Nice. Starting to break down. Three minutes here until the we get the opening range and the news. It feels like it just wants to come and gun for that 19,000 here. Yes, just rolling over. VIX still driving up. 24.71 now on the VIX. Like I said, not in anything here because it's not at levels that I like. I want to be very, very careful here getting short at the lows. I'd much rather see this build out a lot more structure. A bit like last week. I want to see buyers trapped in here before I think about short. The chances are short down here, shorts get trapped. I want to see buyers trapped in before I think about a short. If we get acceptance back inside this range, it's probably a no play. If we back test it and stay heavy, there's maybe a short back down. If we get acceptance, I don't really like the long back up to there, but it's possible. And then a failure over here or a hold over here. Down here, it's going to get very, very hard to facilitate taking anything. We're right at the daily Bollinger Bands. It's not a location that I ever like shorting in. New yearly lows at a daily Bollinger Band extended from 5-day, 20-day, and lower time frame flow zones. It's not ideal, but in sessions where we have major panic, which is what we're having now, this is what you get. But I don't want to be one of the guys getting short on a capitulation which gets absorbed. I'd much rather just wait. Very, very patient on a day like today. If you got that short, that drive up at the open, this was actually pretty good, but you would have had to be really quick. Very, very quick. Thank you. All right, so Just under a minute left until we get our opening range. Still looks heavy here. Watching the volume. Volume's starting to taper off here. I want to see if they come in here with volume and break. I want to watch what this does here. Does the volume start to increase or not? Do they start to increase selling volume for that 19,000 move? New high day here on the VIX. New lower day on the ES. Market remaining heavy. Apple the only one green. Very, very impressive. That is holding on at all right now. So new 5-minute and 15-minute bar now. So this is your orb for the day. Your 15-minute orb. That's it right there. It's huge. Basically 200-point orb. Like I said, you have to be very careful today with your sizing. Today is not a day to size up. This market is not a day to be sizing up in. Everything letting go here. Max fear is in this market right now. Look at the mag. Tesla 7.5% down. Nvidia 5.5% down. Meta 4% down. Google 2.5% down. Amazon 4% down. Microsoft 2.5% down. And Apple now 0.5% down. That moved very quickly there. No reason to long this. Maybe there was a short setup here. Just didn't like it into the news, but hey. I'm being very, very fussy right now in this market. I'm very, very aware of how weak we are and how it would not take a lot for people to start tripping over themselves. I'm always looking for structure to risk off. So 700 lot on the tape now, down at 850. That's some serious size. Back testing 19,000 here. Do we get acceptance above here? Everything's still very, very bearish. Reclaiming 19,000, coming into that level that we just broke down from on that bear flag. Now, again, watch your ATR here, folks. This is not a day to be sizing up. It's decent volume coming into this candle. This is a decent exchange here. Still sellers on this book up at 125, 150, 175, 200. They're looking for a squeeze up to get filled on the sell side. They're trying not to short the lows here. ATR remains 45 points per 1 minute since the open. Be very, very careful. That's your New York VWAP. Reclaim of that and a squeeze, you might get a back test of... let's mark out the overnight low as well, because I haven't actually got that marked out right now. Let's do a little block there. There we go. I'd love to get short today, but I'd just love a drive higher and some form of bull trap for me to get short into rather than short in the lows. Always hard when we open up with like a 300-point gap down. We're now 450 points down on the day. Every single pot being faded so far. New high of day here coming on the VIX. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Definitely not picking bottoms, that's for sure. That is for sure. Starting to get stuck here at these 19,000s. This is definitely a big level that they're playing around with here. There's a big, big buyer, but he is way, way down. Under 18,974. Is that right? It is. Jesus. We got Drifted so far off the highs, I had to reread that. 18,975. Big buyer down there. 800 lots split into two bids. So squeezing up here. Do they get some relief? You have to be brave to be buying this, I tell you. Patience, patience, patience. Yeah, I mean, we had this sell signal before the open on flow zones. I would have rather this squeeze here at the open is high. The higher the better, because then bulls chase it, and then I prefer that move down. That's just how I like to play. I like one side stuck. So far, structure remains bearish. Everything remaining bearish here across all time frames right now. Remember, we're in a multi-time frame short right now, or a multi-time frame sell. Weeklies are in a sell, dailies in a sell, 4 hours in a sell, hourlies in a sell, 30 minutes in a sell, 15 minutes in a sell, 5 minutes in a sell, 1 minute in a sell. Everything's in a sell. Until something changes, that's what we're doing. Could be a no trade day with the heaviness. Yeah, possible, Peter. If we don't get a price that feels good to risk off, 60% of the time it works every time. If we don't get a price to risk off, yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? We want to be sellers, but we want to be sellers at better value, or at least I do. I want to sell, but I want to sell at better value. I don't want to sell lows. I hate selling lows. Nothing worse than that for me. Like buying the highs. So back to flow zones here. I'm watching that. Let me put an anchor on Intraday as well. So watching that New York VWAP, watching if and how we react there. SPY finding a bid here, QQQ finding a bid here. They might test their ETF VWAPs here. Look like that's what they would like to do, which is where they failed from this morning. Here's New York VWAP. Being tapped here fairly aggressively on this drive up. And looks like might get some squeeze relief here like we talked about. Watching if and how we react around this New York VWAP and these flow zones here. VIX with a big old fail there, back down to 24s. Back to its 5-minute flow zones. Spider's right at their VWAP right now. QQQ not right there yet. NQ at its New York VWAP. Sort of the main thesis has been pops to get sold into this morning. Oh, fantastic. We're aware of market data issues for new customers. Again, API issues. Team is actively fixing these issues and accounts. Please submit a support ticket if you don't have market data. Sorry to hear that. So a few issues between Trader 8 and Trader 5 for new customers this morning, it seems. So are they going to build for a squeeze, counter trend squeeze up here for them to then sell into, or does just every pop keep getting sold into? That buyer underneath just left the tape. So he was a spoofer. He's no longer present in the market. That big buyer, he's not there. Yeah, I mean, the higher the better for the short for sure, Peter. It's just, has it got any strength to do it, you know? It's trying to get going here, though. Just that they keep selling 70s. There's no one there on the tape. Really, on the tape's nothing till 125, but I guess this is kind of the block that we sold into numerous times earlier, isn't it? Oh, my Ninja Trader's freezing it. So jostling around this New York VWAP right now. I want to be very careful here. There's potential for a squeeze up here, but I don't really like that trade. Definitely potential for that kind of move, though. Like I said, 120. Well, 125 just lifted now as well. He's trying to get filled at 100. He's moved down. And then 150, 175, 200, 225. Yeah, 5 minutes till that H1 close. Range is big. This is 100 points off the bottom already in a matter of minutes. There's the squeeze we talked about. So clearing out this level of shorts here. This is why I said don't want to get short down in the hole here. There's always chance of a counter trend up into these levels. If we get acceptance here, we go and chop. This will be a no trade zone. This zone here is a no trade zone for me. Orange to orange. I'm not interested in participating. Oh, don't do that. I'm not interested in participating in here. Really not interested in participating in there today. And that VWAP trade looks pretty good now. 50 points off that reclaim. I was very tempted, but it was counter trend. I was like, oh, this is so high risk with this volatility. Here's the drive. ES coming back towards its VWAP. We're coming back towards these yearly lows. So momentum starting to drive upside now. VIX with a big fail there. Sub 24s now. If VIX starts snapping underneath 2360, it has gap fill potential all the way down to previous day high, which is at 22s. So big selling on the VIX here. These sellers up above keep moving. They're spoofing. They're spoofing these 100 lots. Momentum shifted now into a lower time frame buy. Everything else still in a sell. Is a pullback absorbed here for a drift higher or not? This is the question. ES rejecting VWAP so far. If it reclaims VWAP and gets going, want to be careful because it's very easy for shorts to have been cooked this morning. This is what I kept saying. Like, it just feels like a very easy opportunity to squeeze upside for a better value short later in the day. Coming back towards that old yearly low there. Big level. You can see it marked out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Max. Sounds like you have your hands full outside of trading. Definitely not a good day to trade when you've got that kind of stuff going on. Family matters. I want to see if this market gives a pullback now that holds. All right, does this market pull back, or we can just keep squeezing higher here? If too many shorts got cooked down here, it's why I didn't want to short. If it pulls back here and holds, potentially there's a long back up. But if it can't do that, it's going to be really hard to join and participate. Again, watch the ATR. Average ATR price this morning is about 40 points. So if there's a pullback that holds here, there might be a squeeze higher. If the pullback doesn't hold the VWAP, we probably just go into rotation back down towards the lows. ES rejecting its VWAP right now. That's why I'm watching these levels. Remember, this is just squeeze relief. Every drive higher has been squeeze relief. Nothing more than that. VIX finding a bid off those lows that we talked about. So far protecting that 2350. So far. ES rejecting its VWAP. QQQ under its VWAP. SPY is over its VWAP so far. And these are all big levels that we're trading in and around right now. New hourly bar coming in like 30 seconds or so. What do we do on this new hourly bar? Is this just a clean out of these highs for them to rotate to, or do they hold here and go again for a new leg? See this new hourly bar, what we get. New hour, new 4-hour bar coming. 3, 2, 1. I'm getting error messages again. This isn't Ninja. This is my indicators. This is why I need some testing this right now. Back up to that deep pullback. Back up to the old yearly lows. Are we going to get acceptance through these levels or not? Wick to wick on the H1 here. This is old value area low of the overnight session. We start getting acceptance above this, this is going to be a problem for shorts. There's a bigger squeeze potential here. If they keep protecting these yearly lows, we can rotate back towards the low of the day. VIX breaking down that key level that we talked about, 2360s. Driving back up towards that New York Open. Big levels up here, remember. Yearly lows, New York Opens. I was thinking about this long here. Actually wanted to take this long, but just couldn't quite come to where I wanted. So back towards these yearly lows, old yearly lows here. Through this, we probably go VWAP and test the bottom side of Globex. So that 930 print in towards 65, somewhere up here now. If we get acceptance through that, we're into that no trade zone for me, the yellow to yellow boxes. If we come up to that and reject it, then we can get a drive back lower. Back in towards this New York Open then. Back in towards VWAP, back in towards Globex. This is where we're trading to right now. These are big levels, right? Acceptance through here, it becomes a no trade zone for me. We go into that sort of a Globex chop, let's call it. Market trying to find a bid. Start there for now. Watching ES at VWAP here as it trades back down into it, see if it finds a bid. I really want one more big drive higher, and then we can think about the short if we get up into this. At the moment, it's not willing to do it. Structure, lower time frames move to bullish structure. Flow zone starting to flip here soon. Yeah, VIX into the gap, quite right. It's coming to back test that level now, 2360s. This is what I'm saying. This is key levels here. I'm just trying to let this shake out. I want to see how we react at the Globex low, 930, all those kind of levels. We're currently rejecting that old yearly low. I want a squeeze up here to see how we react once we get up there. If we get acceptance above there, I don't like this trade, but there's a long back into here and maybe gap, but It's not something I really want to touch. This level here is going to be key for the next however long. So what we've pivoted over, it's where the view up is. All the time we're over this squeeze under this, that rotation back down to here becomes possible. Yes, back to its view up here. Trying to be so patient here. I want a good trade. I'm a bit annoyed that I didn't take that long. At least we didn't get short in the hole and we've waited for this bounce. We want a bounce higher now. It needs to squeeze higher than this, really. We would like a little bit higher than this. Yes, right, it is V up right now. That's what I'm just waiting for. Don't want to preempt anything here. All those sellers lifted, so they were all spoofing. It's probably the same guy as the last few weeks, just spoofing on the tape. So he spoofed 800 odd orders at the lows, and then he spoofed all those sells, dragging it higher. He's moved them all off. Can we get one more drive here in towards that Globex level, the 930 print, view up and see if it offers a short there or if we're going to get acceptance back into the range above. Building out bull flags right now for moves higher. I want to see it to come into here and then offer maybe some form of failure. Acceptance in here, I'm not taking anything. Acceptance in here, we go into chop. There's 100 points of chop there that I don't really want to play in. I'd then have to wait for it to get up to here or a fail back underneath, really. At that point, to offer me anything that I'm interested in. I mean, I'd say we've had pretty clear direction here, Scrooge. It was a big gap down and a wash at the open. It's just more, rather than direction, I'd say it's more about, does it offer a structure that we can play against or play off, you know? Like we said, what we don't want to do is what we talked about earlier. I didn't want to be short down here. These are fresh lows of the year. It's not something I like. I'm not looking to chase a market lower. I'm looking to play off a key level versus a key level. Now we're in squeeze mode because all of the shorts got stuck down here. They all chased this and we started to turn. So I was thinking about a long here, couldn't get my fill. Now we drift high. So now I wait. Either we reject here and we create some sort of micro head and shoulders to play off or some sort of bull trap. If we get acceptance back inside and above, then we're going to probably go all the way back up to the overnight highs. And that's a 100-point range of chop there, which I'm really not that interested in playing in. All right, so we're into 100 points of chop here. Once we get through this orange level, we can come back into these levels up here. It's not exactly what I want to play in. So back to view up, back to that 930 open print. Big level here. Acceptance above this, we go upside towards that top of the golden box probably. ES looking very strong here. So ES probably wants to gun for a similar level. So I'm going to say ES looking for 90s to 96s if it gets going. Overnight highs. Starting to find some acceptance here, isn't it? It's starting to build sideways here. Aye, that long would have been good. Couldn't get my fill off the VWAP, never mind. So either we get short here, either it offers some failure and rejection, or it accepts back inside the range, at which point I won't be playing it. Personally, you are welcome to play it. There's lots of levels it can clear up over here, like we talked about. All these stops, if it really wants to clear all these up, there's lots of levels it can go and clear up. It's just not a trade that I personally want to take inside the Asia range after a big gap down. Definitely in sort of a squeeze mode here, though, by the feel of it. Like we said, the daily, we didn't want to get short at the lower Bollinger. Anyone that got short on that lower Bollinger is learning a hard lesson here. All right, there's one thing you take from this. We talked about it this morning. Where do I not want to get short? In this orange line. All right, all those guys and girls now being squeezed. So holding 150s there, bids on 150s, they held wick to wick. They're going to look for a drive higher here if they can get it. Alex, on your trading view next to your indicators, you have an update button, the round purple. Is there anything? No, that's just VWAP. Don't worry about that. I'm not worried about that. It's not on my indicators. So like we said, they held 150 wick to wick. Back to the VWAP here. They're looking to try and find some level of consolidation and bull flag to drive this higher right now. That's what they're trying to do right now. Stuck at VWAP, stuck at Globex. This is what I want to see. Now, I'm interested if we start to rotate here. I don't want to preempt this because they can catch this, but I am interested if they keep pushing up and failing and we change structure here. Like if we start to get stuck under here, I'm more interested in this pro trend move back to retest these levels. If they keep holding this, obviously I'm not interested. But it's piquing my interest a little bit more here now. And I'll wait to join if it becomes clear and obvious. If we go inside those orange boxes, I'm not touching it. Because at that point, I think we probably want to go for Globex highs, but I've probably missed the optimum buy point to go and get there. And I don't want to get trapped. And look how many times we rotated and rotated and rotated. I don't want to get trapped in this and frustrated on a Monday. So that would be my leave alone zone inside the orange boxes. Beneath it, I'd like to think about a short back down if it sets up. And above it, we can think about a failed breakout or a breakout above these that we went over pre-market. We're going to wick to wick here. Look at the H1s, very, very interesting here. We left a long wick on the bottom of the H1. We're coming back to back test these old H1 open and closes into sort of 170s. Big, big levels. Big, big levels. I'm starting to see some heaviness come here. This is the question. Is this the bear trap or are they going to just let it go versus that 930? It's looking pretty good here, but not built out enough for me yet to want to join. Still just flagging here for now. Nice, Miguel. That's good to know. So Traderfy fixing their issues. ES back to its VWAP. All right, let's see if they put a bid on this VWAP or not. If they start letting go of the VWAP after it swept liquidity, then there's a chance for ES to come all the way back down to 540s. If they find a bid here, we're going upside. VIX finding a bit of a bid here, back testing 2360s. Structure still bullish, lower time frame structure. Structure in what we're looking at, lower time frame, currently still bullish. High time frame structure, very much bearish, right? Think about your H1, you're coming up to an SBR level. This level here is basically an SBR. Can't draw that very well, can I? This is why we're finding some resistance here. Old support becomes resistance on the H1. If they get acceptance above, we can range. If they keep failing here or fail breakout down here, I'm going to look to join short around here if it offers it. If it offers it. Still building that bull flag. Flow zone still bullish, still in a buy on the lower time frame. Not in trend alignment right now because your lower time frames in a buy, higher time frames in a sell. The nice thing is my flow zones, lower time frame buy, higher time frame sell. So I've got that working now on NinjaTrader, which is great. So starting to get this very, very close to release now on NinjaTrader, where it looks very much like this. Almost there. It's taken so much work and a lot of money and hours. So bull flag looks like it's going to try and play out here. They're looking for that 930 open. ES holding its VWAP. VIX failed its back test of 2360 there, finding some sellers. So there is squeeze relief higher. If it wants to do that, I won't be playing it because it means it's going inside the choppy range, which I'm not really interested in playing. Said it all day. It's the one zone I don't really want to play today. It's inside London, Asia. I think it makes it very hard to participate. Yes, back to VWAP again. Your range on candles is still big. Be very, very careful. Back to flow zones again. Back to the imbalance. If we start letting go of these levels, this is where I think a short can start to set up, especially if ES starts letting go of VWAP. If those higher time frame sellers come back in and want to participate, I think we can get a play here. This is what I'm looking for. ES right at its VWAP right now. Structure still bullish, still technically bullish until we start shifting under these levels. Clint, automation, as in like a bot. Yeah, that's the next thing I'm working on. So that would be a separate thing. But yes, it's being worked on. The moment the indicator works exactly how I work it, I like it, then we can think about the trading bot to be automated. But yes, it's what I'm working on. So first step is to have an all-in-one flow zone indicator. So you just load up one thing and it does absolutely everything on your screen for you with how I teach. And the second thing will be have it automated as a bot. Yes, right as it's flow zones right now, it's trying to find a bid. It's very, very tricky here. Watching this short side now. Very, very close. If we start breaking down here, if pops start failing here, I'm watching short side. I want to be close because I want to be careful because I don't want to get trapped. I do not want to get trapped if they start to re-squeeze this. But I am watching this now as we start to reject VWAP. The hard thing is the range on these. But we're rejecting VWAP on the NQ. We're under VWAP on the ES. Spiders still have a drive down to VWAP to happen. If we start making lower highs and lower lows, I want to join. If it just pukes without me, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be one of those markets where it makes a decision quick and goes like this. This is frustrating. What we want to see really is a push and a fail for this move. It's what we've been looking for. If the market doesn't give it, there's nothing we can do, right? We know what we want. Does it give it to us? I want to be careful about an internal sweep for a trap. What I don't want is a trap under this protected, and it go all the way back up. So I'm looking for a pop to fail, and then can think about something to get short side into. Oh, it's not going to pop, is it? It's just going to bleed. VIX returning back into inside of 2360. Yeah, this is not going to pop for me. Oh, I've had good reads all day and just can't get involved. Ay, ay, ay. It's QQQ on its view up right now. Come on. A little bit of a drive up and a failure, please. Yeah, extreme fear in the market, Miguel. Absolutely. Extreme fear in the market. And that's what you need to be careful of, because when it's extreme fear, it's actually not a great time to short. Right? You want to be shorting extreme greed, really. Scrooge Max Bucks. I played the 5-minute opening range break. I got chopped up on the bottom side. Then I pulled back from 1 minute to 3 minute and see where I would have never lost as long as I learned from my losses. I feel like there's still wins. Yeah, that's it. As long as you learn from your losses. Losses are just, you're just paying for education in the market. That's how you need to see it. We all lose. It's normal. It's absolutely normal. But yeah, the opening range today was hard because we gapped down overnight. The opening range bled lower, and we came into big levels on the Bollinger Bands. So statistically speaking, it was very hard for us to move lower underneath that opening range, which is why I didn't like the shorts at the bottom of the day. Really didn't like them. So ES back towards its view up now. Need to be careful in case they use this internal low as a pivot to trap. But so far looking good. I want to see if this can build out a right shoulder or bear flag here for me to attack. I don't really want to short into view up. I'd like this to build out a bit more structure. Alex, just to get your attention to other things other than the market, I've started investigating the possibilities of move to Dubai, presently in France. It's funny you say that. I was looking at all sorts of possibilities this weekend, including Tulum. I started viewing houses online in Tulum this weekend. All right, so bear flag playing out. I can't believe the lack of structure here. Into view up. This is rather upsetting for me. I just feel like it's going to be one of those days where I can't get a trade on. Change of character confirmation to short here. Yeah, I mean, arguably on the 1 minute is what we're talking about, Ryan. We're looking for this kind of move here to go down, back down to the lows. But what you need to be careful of now is this is where we broke out from, right? Do you remember, like, when we were here, I said this is going to be a key level all day. Under this, we can really drift. Hold of this, we go into sort of chop zone around here, right? This level here, right? This was resistance, became support, might be support. We get under it, might be resistance. So it's very, very key level. This is why I was looking for a drift higher to short back into to get a partial here, and then I could hold runners. But it's not allowing me to have any. It's saying, no, Alex, today I'm going to make this extra tricky. You're not going to be able to participate. I'm noticing a couple bugs on my indicator I need to deal with, like where it's placing the buys. I don't know if you can even see that, but it's placing buys really low down. There's a few things I've got to get fixed here before I can hand this out. Costa Rica's nice, pretty expensive in Costa Rica for a, equivalently of a third world country with its own issues. It's American prices, very expensive. I want somewhere with nice beach, nice surf, amazing houses, which isn't going to absolutely break the bank, where I feel like I have good cost of living, which is not what I have in Los Angeles. Currently have a sea full of pollution, which you can't surf in. Paying an absolute premium for it. It's still drifting lower here. It's not offering me any structure to play off. I'm trying to be very, very patient. Flow zone's starting to flatten out here. This is everything I don't want to see on a day. And we're at that potential RBS level. Right, resistance becomes support. Resistance, support, support. I want to be very careful here. This is why I don't want to get short here. I want to drive up and a clear form of structure. If we get under here, then I'd use this as resistance again to go lower. At this point, I want to be very careful about a sweep to go up. So I'm getting less and less interested in this market by the minute right now, unfortunately. And we're only an hour in. Feels heavy, doesn't it? It feels heavy, but how can we get involved in this? Is it going to offer some structure to get involved in? I don't want to play off of like a 1 minute tiny bar. That's all we're getting. It is all we're getting right now. I know I'm fussy, folks. This is trading though, and this is real trading. Not looking to chase a market at lows this morning. Wanted to have that buy potential for the squeeze. This level here, I was just looking for this to just come down into this so I could get long for that move, missed that move. Then I was looking to build out some structure here to get short for a partial and then new short for the move down, and it's not done it. It's just how it is. I'm very set. It either gives me my setup or it doesn't. I'm not going to force my way into it. Yeah, give it a bit more time, Peter. We're only not even an hour in, so that initial balance is about to be set. We're going to be 50% of the way in that initial balance, right in the mid. So also not an ideal location, is it? But we might get something here. Once that IB set, we can think about auctions and failed auctions. But this market is anything but normal, yeah. Weak market right now. 2376s here on the VIX, starting to reclaim old range. There's H1 rebalanced and found the sell. Remember we were talking about the H1? I always watch the H1. Where did we want the H1? Came in rebalanced, support became resistance. This candle right here, rebalanced, sell back down. Location now for the sell, getting bad, isn't it? It's just unfortunate. I really like ES, unfortunately, set up a much better structure like this. NQ didn't. NQ just melted. ES set up really nice structure there, really, really good. It literally put in that left shoulder, head, right shoulder failure. It was really, really nice up there on the ES. And then it's even come under VWAP and tested VWAP a few times and stayed heavy. Possibly, Max. Like, I mean, if you're a long-term investor, possibly. It's definitely how I'm thinking. But, I mean, no guarantees. But lower the better for me. We keep drifting lower. I'm not a buyer in this market yet. I think, like we talked about on the daily, I think there's... think about the daily chart, there's lots of levels we can drift back to. All of these levels, even deeper if it really wants to. We can think about these levels here. You know, if we had a capitulation event into anywhere around here, I'd definitely be a buyer long term. Time will tell. We might find a bid in front of that. I mean, I've got all eyes really are on April 2nd right now. All eyes on April 2nd. See what happens April 2nd. Stuck at VWAP here. Every pop into VWAP so far getting sold into on the Qs on that New York VWAP. Green line. NQ, QQQ, both under VWAP. SPY over its VWAP. ES under its VWAP. Right, so we have a little divergence in the spiders there. Still feels like a sell, but we're into big levels. This might want to come back down to low of day here. This is what it feels like right now. It's in a hurry to just like absolutely melt It's just, is there a way of getting involved? Not right now, there isn't. It's just a straight move down. We know that they like to swipe liquidity when they do this. And looking to trade back down towards these 19,000s right now. Initial balance about to be set in 30 seconds. Yeah, I watch point of controls. As you well know, I'm always watching point of controls. I'm more interested in the previous day point of controls. I don't like actioning around point of controls. But I'm watching value area lows, value area highs, which normally work out pretty similar to the initial balance. Reciprocal tariffs, Max. 2nd of April, reciprocal tariffs come into effect or don't come into effect, right? So that's the date for them. A lot of eyes are on that date. Is there follow through on those reciprocal tariffs, or have we priced them all in and we actually wind them back? And it's like, only kidding. They're not going to be as bad as I said. So finding a bid here on that new 15 and 5 minute bar. So we're saying offering no structure. Like we said, we had one of these. It often likes to come and take all these guys out. Do we get a sell against this to go low, or is this level just going to hold up now and we're going to go back for these? I literally have no idea. The structure of this market right now is not the prettiest on a lower time frame. We're sitting right in the middle of the initial balance right now. There's nothing that I absolutely like here. ES getting stuck at VWAP. SPY protecting its VWAP. QQQ stuck at VWAP. NQ on its New York VWAP. So far, the theme has been pushes to fail. But this can be your first. Technically, this could be your first higher low. We think that is the pivot. Technically, this could be your first higher low. This is why I really wanted this move here to trade down into it. So understanding the structure of right now is not ideal. It's nothing confirmed because this is only a first move. Here's your pivot. Right, sell, pivot above, pull back inside. We can either go here or here and here. Where's our IB? Where are we? 50%. And like, there's nothing right here that feels really attractive. Look at the flow zones. We've gone from a beautiful trend to flattening out. There's your IB. It's going to just require a lot of patience today. And it's a Monday morning, all right? We don't want to do anything stupid on a Monday morning. Got the whole week ahead of us. Gut would say sell back down to the lows, but I don't trade off my gut. I trade off what's in front of me. Yep, last day of March, absolutely. ES reclaiming view up. Spiders holding their view up. They're trying to reclaim key levels here. VIX trading back down towards low of day. Apple, green to red, red to green. 1/3% up now. Apple, the strong one in this market. Tesla, over 6.5% down. Nvidia, 4.75% down. Meta, 2.5% down. Google, 1.63% down. Amazon, just under 4% down. Microsoft, 2.70% down. Apple, green. Apple, 1/3% up. Like I said, this is tricky here because this can be the start of a higher low in this session. Let's do something like this. All right, we could be potentially in some form of channel here, like this. Very, very possible. So I didn't want the short here. Did we ever build out the structure that I wanted for the short? Remember, I was looking for this. You could argue that, but I don't like that. I wanted more structure built out for that short. Never came. We talked about this here. This is the signature that it will go and take you to go higher. Now we're going back up towards IB high. So squeeze back up. I'm sure this market is frustrating a lot of people right now. Up to the IB high here. ES taking out the initial balance high. QQQ, NQ not taking out the IB high yet. We're trading into the overnight VWAP and Globex. Orange level here, overnight. Globex, IB high. This is our current high in New York in 292s. ES already through that. Remember, acceptance in here probably leads to this drive all the way up here into 260s. Like I said, I felt like it would go lower, but I don't trade off what I feel like. I trade off what's in front of me, and right now we're in a squeeze up. So shorts got stuck there yet again. Point of control in this session is up at 215s. 215s, well, in this session, including overnight, 215s. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth right now. Would I consider getting in if it put in a higher low? Not really, mate. You could argue I should if it pulls back to flow zones here, but there's nothing here I like, Ryan, if I'm honest. The main trend, remember, the main trend is in a downtrend, right? The main trend is down. Lower bolds are here. We've broken yearly lows, traded under, holding here. Now, if we hold here, technically there's a long to take out liquidity at 33s and 277s. Maybe I should consider that. Maybe I will consider that. But the danger of that is it's a counter trend long in a consolidation range that we built after a gap down. Like this, it's not particularly nice. This market is building out a lot of liquidity to hurt people right now. Remember, the main move, the main trend is downside. Anything upside is counter trend today. Foster Scott, welcome back. Welcome back, buddy. So no trades for me so far today. We're over an hour into the session. No trades. Unfortunately, I did take that good trade overnight we talked about. Nothing else yet. Didn't set up the short at the morning move. Then I couldn't get the long for the drive back up. And then it didn't set up the short for the rotation back down. ES being a much smoother trader today. And now we just sit and wait. It would not surprise me if people have flip-flopped a few times. I would imagine shorts probably got trapped down here and got squeezed. You probably got people trying to get long here and maybe here and got dropped on. And then they probably tried to get short under this and got squeezed. So you've probably got a lot of people getting trapped both sides right now. It's going to require patience, this market. Rejecting that Globex so far. Again, remember, ES has taken out the IB high. It swept the IB high. It swept New York session highs for the day. So anyone who was short in New York, ES has taken them out of the market now. NQ has not done that. Coming back down towards the flow zones, which are pretty much running flat along with VWAP right now. Peter, yeah, don't blame you. Don't blame you. I will sit here with you until lunch, team. I might not take a trade if it doesn't set up, but I will try and sit here with you until lunch. But please be patient. Don't be forcing your way into the market. Market's job right now is to take everyone's money. That's what it's trying to do, and it's doing a pretty good job of it, I would say. To be honest, I didn't even think we'd have a big gap down overnight. I thought we'd just chop sideways all of today until we get to tomorrow. Most of the news coming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. That was my original thought. But then last night we started selling. Holding flow zones here. They are trying to build structure. They are trying to build structure to come and take this out, to get up here and acceptance through there to go higher. The problem is these are big levels. This is an old yearly low, and this is Globex and New York Open. Above here feels like better for that move out or the fail breakout. Here feels like a 50-50 zone to me. It feels like a 50-50 zone to me. I'm going to be honest. But they are trying to build structure out for that move higher for sure right now. Just don't like the location of it. It's arguably the longest I've gone on stream without taking a trade, but I cannot force my way into the market. I'm not willing to get chopped up. China, Japan, and South Korea reach consensus that 3 sides will jointly respond to US tariffs. Yeah, that will all come on April 2nd, the response. This is what I'm saying. Like, everyone's got eyes for April 2nd right now. That's what everyone is watching for. It's massive. And I think post April 2nd, the market will get a little bit easier. As long as some decisions are made and are stuck to, the market will become easier. So chopping around inside. Let's do these blue because I don't want anyone to think these are anything else. Or white, even better. So we're outside of Asia. We're in an outside bar. We're in a trend lower higher time frame, but we're currently just finding bids off the lower daily Bollinger Bands. That was the one thing I wanted to be careful about today. Now you see why. Very hard to short lows. It's very, very, very hard to short lows. Very easy to get stuck shorting lows. This is trying to build out liquidity right now to go higher. That's what it's trying to do. It wants to take out the 930 highs in the initial balance. That's what it would like to do. It's trying to protect the flow zones to do that move. ES looks like it has a bit more strength to do it as VIX is starting to break down low of day right now. So that's where you're at. That's what's trying to happen. That's what you're looking for if you're going to join this. It's not something that I particularly love, but ES does look strong. Here's IB high again on the ES. VIX low of day. This looks pretty good here for you. If you're in this long, it looks pretty good. I'm going to say it's holding flow zones very, very nicely here. Back towards VWAP. You just got to be proactive today. If you're a buyer in this market, you have to be proactive because you've got to know that if you're buying, you're the counter trend player. The high time frame guys are shorts from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, maybe even the open yesterday, Sunday open, right? Higher time frame players are short in this market. They're not long in the market. So if you're playing the long, you're trying to take the pain or push the pain point on the lower time frame shorts. At some point, higher time frame shorts might come back in and start selling. You do not want to be long against them. It's fine to be long against the lower time frame players, but you don't want to be long against the higher time frame players. And so far, the higher time frame players are protecting this H1 level, aren't they? Right, so far, we think about this. Let's take this off so you can see it. Move down, consolidation, break down. That's your back test. All right, high time frame players are looking for this move. Acceptance in here, we go probably sweep these guys out. This is why I'm saying I'm not too keen on the long right now. If you like it, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to say anything against that. I totally understand why people would like this. But for me, this is a massive level on higher time frame. I don't want to be getting long and caught into it. The pro trend. What is the pro trend? Higher time frame bearish. All right. Once we get acceptance under here, this is more likely. That's something I'd be potentially more interested in joining. What's the problem with that? Again, unfortunately, it's location on the higher time frame because we're at the daily Bollinger. So it's just one of those days. If we chop around for a session, a day or two, all right, the daily Bollinger will start going down and all the EMAs, all right, the SMAs, the 5-day will catch up. And then we have room to expand lower into those daily and weekly pivots that we're looking at. This is what I'm talking about when you've got to be a sniper and you've got to have patience. You cannot force your way. If you understand that the daily Bollinger right now, right, we need to let the 5-day catch up. Right, the daily Bollinger is only just starting to point down. In a session or two, it would be down here. 5-day would catch up, and then we can think about this trend play. Failure to do that, we get acceptance up here. Very, very dangerous. Any acceptance back inside here, very, very dangerous for shorts. If you're like, what is this guy talking about? I don't understand. Right, just head over to the website and do my course. It all makes sense about multi-time frame trades. The one-time fee for $649, $650 basically, and you get the TradingView Flow Zone indicator for free. You'll be grandfathered into having this. And you also get access to the Discord for life. I will be changing the way that works with the flow zones soon, especially once Ninja is operated. So if you want the flow zones, especially in TradingView, you'd be grandfathered in if you get in now. Otherwise, they will be changing to a different model. Easter sale, Pat. Yeah, that's been and gone. Easter sale prices, been and gone. And remember, today's last day of the month. So it is your last chance to get Tradeify for 35% off all accounts. All right, it is your last day to get Tradeify for 35% off all accounts. My favorite account there is the growth account. 50K growth account, no unrealized trailing drawdown. All right, you can have a set and forget. I really like it. 1 day pass. All in, if you pass that, is under $100. Cheapest 50K account on the market. Best account, in my opinion. My personal opinion. Other than that, there's still a sale on at Take Profit Trader. I don't know when that ends, and Apex also will end tomorrow. So you're running out of time. Right, now's the best time to do it. I have no insight into what the next sales are going to be. I would tell you otherwise. If I thought it was better for you to wait, I'd say, but I very much doubt Tradeify do a better sale than they've done. Their prices are going up and up and up, not down and down and down. So they have more and more members offering better and better products, so their prices are going up. Still holding this pivot right now. It's still holding this pivot. It still has the potential to build this out to go higher. If we break down underneath this and get stuck, then we go lower. This is midpoint of IB. This is why I'm sat here talking, not sat here trading. Nice, Kaladin. Yeah. Just be careful when you're trading Apex, right? Make sure you don't oversize, and make sure you use a stop which you can like manually trade up with it. So here we go. It's trying again. ES trying again here. VIX starting to base out here. These are big, big, big levels. Alan, no trade for me yet. Like normally I would like this long. I just don't like where we're longing into. But this is setting up a long for a squeeze through the VWAP through the New York Open into the IB high right now. That's what it's trying to set up right now. ES is already doing it. It's in a giant squeeze right now to move up. VIX is failing. Everything here looks good. So like I said, if you're in this long, it's nice. We've talked about it. It's just not what I'm personally looking for, but it looks good. You probably come and take out 170 here. Through 170, you take out 191. Through that, you're going to take out 238. Through that, you're going to take out 274. But like I said, the higher we go, the less interested I am in this because I expect higher time frame sellers to come back into these levels. So stuck there at VWAP for you right now. ES has taken out its IB high and high of day. VIX, new low of day. The ES looks much better. Right? The ES is looking so much better for longs right now. The way it's built out this morning is really, really good. So we went back into this H1 level that I've talked about. This is why personally I don't like the long here on the Qs. The only reason. If ES gets going, I think you get a trade up to 592s if they're going to let it through. If they really let it through, you've got another 10 points up for grabs on the ES. If they let the Qs through, I'd say the first level you're trading into is 33s. Chop back and forth, back and forth, back and forth here in that IB. Blue Collar Studio. Yeah, I think the best account with Tradeify, well, the cheapest account on the market for a 50K account is Tradeify Growth account. It's the easiest to pass. You don't have an unrealized trailing drawdown intraday. Just end of day trailing drawdown. And you can pass it in 1 day. There's no scaling plan or anything like that. And once you get activated, won't cost you any money to activate. It's just that one-time fee. Once you're activated as well, you've got a 35% consistency rule. You can DCA, you can trade however you like to trade. The only thing you need to worry about is your max loss and that 35%. So I think it's by far the best account out there right now. Q's still looking like they're trying to build that momentum to do it, but failing to do it. VIX 23s now, well into that gap, isn't it? VIX just absolutely getting annihilated. So it wants to trade down to 22.18 here probably on the VIX. No real support structure till there unless it finds a bid on a fib or something. Yeah, Apex is 30%. That's correct. Apex is 30%. Tradeify is 35%. So back to VWAP again. Like I said, it wants to go through, but these are massive, 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 massive H1 levels. Massive. It's trying to get going here. It is trying to get going here. It's desperate to get going here. Again, into the orange box, that H1 level. It's the old support becomes resistance level. It's also the New York Open. Right, if anyone's joining late, look at these wicks. All right, this was the bear flag. This is support, 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 breakdown. This is your retest. Acceptance over this, yes. Until that point, it's a little too risky for my personal taste, but I think it's looking pretty good for you. But my personal taste, it's a little too risky for me. Above this, an acceptance, that's a different trade. That's a range trade back upside. That feels a little bit better. But you look good. If you're in this long, if you bought that pullback into VWAP, or this two leg and then trap, this micro inverse head and shoulders, I think you look good for upside. But just remember, your longs are counter trend. You've got to protect your profits today. If a higher time frame seller just comes on the book here, he can do this if he wants. And I'm not joking. Like if a higher time frame seller's like, nope, you will get hurt. So you've got to move your stop up, or you've at least got to take some partials. There you go. Back to the higher time frame level. Selling come back in here, back to the old yearly lows. That's why I'm just being very, very patient here today. No trades for me here today. I did trade, anyone who's joining late, I did trade overnight. It was only on a sim account on Tradeify. I am testing out my Ninja Trader indicators. I've got in the works on for Flowzone, sorry, my Flowzone Trader indicators on Ninja. I can already see some errors on them this morning that I want to tweak. So once these are ready, I'll probably do a very good deal for everyone who's already in the course. And outside of that, I'm going to have to think about how I structure it, because I've spent an awful lot of time and money on these now. Way too much. Why is C# so crap to work with? It's a pain. It is a real pain. So you got a flat top there. This is your H1 higher time frame level. Right, this is the old support becomes resistance. Every time we get up there, they're selling into it. This is your channel. This is the lower bowl. No acceptance under lower bowl. We trade up, we reject. Potential higher low, higher high, higher low. This is all internal here now, isn't it? Until we break out of here, there's no break of structure and high. Until we break out of here, there's no change of character to the downside. It's very, very tricky. This is being built to build liquidity to hurt people. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Let's go to a little lesson here on why are we doing this. I want you to look at the 5-minute chart. Here's Friday, right? Build liquidity, break. Here's overnight. Build liquidity, break. What do we have to do here? We can't just keep going down, can we? We have to build liquidity and either break down, or build liquidity, trap, break. Right, so it can't just move on nothing. It cannot move on nothing. We need someone paired off the other side who's stuck, like I said. So why didn't I want to get short down here this morning? Because it was the lower Bollinger Band and there was no liquidity built. All right, the break happened here and here. That was the break. We didn't take the break, and then it's building. Now it's back testing it. Hopefully that makes sense to people. If not, tons of videos for free on my YouTube, or you can do the course. All right, so still inside right here. Still wants to go upside. It's just whether these H1 sellers keep smashing against that Globex level. Yeah, exactly, DJ. Look, we got a whole week ahead. like I said, for me, I really want to see what happens post April 2nd. My phone was popping off this morning from friends who are getting absolutely smacked in this right now, who have been buying the tops on their accounts. Is it going lower? Is it going higher? What do I do? I'm like, oh my God, that is a sign that there's crazy amount of fear in the market. If I wake up to my friends back in England messaging me, that is a sure sign that I don't want to get short at the open. Because if they're all starting to panic, it's probably a time when smart money starts absorbing. Aaron, will it have sounds? Hey, you're going to love this, mate. You're going to love this. Sound alerts. Boom, boom, boom. Sound alerts. I have everything. It's taken so much coding and there's loads more to come. But yes, it will have sounds. It will have sound alerts. Good, eh? I listened to everyone. I listened to everything you've asked for. I've been coding absolutely everything into it or having it coded for me. DJ, no, I can only trade today and tomorrow this week. Going to avoid FOMO for what's to come this week. Hey, look, you got your whole career ahead as well, remember? He is a DJ. Will it have sounds? Yeah. Foster Scott, I've got a really advanced one for Ninja Trader coming, and I'm working on it working as a bot as well at the moment. That's going to take a little bit longer and a lot of back testing, but the indicator for Ninja Trader should be done soon, and then I'll try and replicate any additional changes I've had to the Trading View one as well. I'm going to program like my garage voice is the sounds. So when you wake up, if it's an inside bar, it's going to be like, inside, outside, bullish, blood on the street, blood, 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 blood. All right, still chopping around here, being patient. Lee Kim, I'm still figuring it out, but anyone who's done the course will get a very, very low price. Compared to what would be sold for outside of the course, yes. Obviously, I've got to chat with a few people about it at the moment. Yeah, anyone who's done the course, I will obviously look after you, grandfather you into as many things as possible, or at least offer it a heavy, heavy discount. Vic's trying to find a bid here at 23s. Everything's still chopping around. See how patient we are? We are very patient. You can argue we've missed a big day, but I guess if you were trading pre-market, that was nice. If you took that pop and fail, that was actually really nice, but it was only one bar. What I really wanted is this, and we just went pop, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and then suddenly you're 200 points lower. And then you're like, I don't think I fancy shorting down here. And we got stuck here. I didn't fancy that really either. I said it was happening, but I was like, God, the risk parameter's so bad. I mean, not with that Bollinger Band there. And there's plenty more days ahead. Plenty more days ahead. I do think this wants a little bit of a squeeze upside before potentially rolling over, because what we could set up here potentially, right, would be a break that fails and trades back down, and then you'll have this. And if they want to run for this liquidity and this liquidity, then you've got some liquidity to aim for. The problem was when we were here, what's left to aim for? What was the low-hanging fruit? It was this. We've just smashed that low-hanging fruit. There's nothing to aim for now, really, for me. Why is that not drawn? Oh, it's because I put it on the NQ1. Hang on. Hang on, folks. I'm going to have to draw this in manually, aren't I? This is what I hate about the rollovers. This exact thing that I'm dealing with here. Did I just do that without saving it? Oh, I did. Alex, you're an absolute numpty. What an idiot. What an idiot. Okay, hang on. So I've got to do this whole thing again now. This is the worst thing about the rollovers by far. $18,338. Will this go to the right level? Nope, of course it won't. Sorry, folks. I'm just going to have to redo everything here. Unfortunately, this is just how it is. Let me take all these off just for a second. Right, you're just trying to get that break now, obviously, after it's just deleted all my drawings for me. If you're in this long, you look good. I'd be looking for a drive up into 238 now, if you're in this long. But make sure you are paying yourself, or maybe the first level 190 and then 238. Make sure you are paying yourself some money in this market. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, it's because we have major issues because we're having to go back so many rollovers. I'm having to chart on NQN, NQ1 and pull it over onto NQM so that they all line up properly. And this is exactly why I watch the ETFs. Exactly why. There we go. Because ETFs don't have this problem. Move this down a little bit. There we go. It looks a bit better. So point of control overnight, if you're going to trade into it, would be 215 H1 bar. Above that, you've got a ton of wicks, which have already been mitigated technically. But if it wants to go for the wick that took them all out, it would be 236. So squeeze potential into 236. Let's put a little trend line on here for you. We can do this. This is basically your channel in the session right now. It's starting to do what you want to see, which is good. But we're into that H1 transition level. Old support became resistance. If it gets acceptance up and over these levels, up and over the initial balance, then you get that drive into 238 and then into the overnight highs. But I would expect sellers to come in here at some point. What does the trading view at the bottom do? It will adjust it, but it will put the gap in and out from the rollover, and that's not what I want. So like I don't really want to show you now, but you're welcome to do it on yours in case I lose these. Let me save this before I forget. All right, the big problem right now is if you switch between NQ1 and NQM, you will see that those weekly lows look very, very different at different prices. And obviously NQM doesn't have any data once we're going back 2-3 months. So you can't see old data that we're driving into because we're coming back down towards sort of September and below lows at some point. All right, so there's the failed break that we talked about. Now, if this starts getting failure underneath here, then buyers are going to start getting trapped. This is what I was talking about. Back to New York Open. These are the key levels. If we start failing back under... Oh, my God. Can you let me draw, please? If we start failing under here, we're going to wash. If we get acceptance above here and above IB, it's got this level of liquidity to run for and the Globex high up here. If buts and maybes right now, but that's the type of market we're in right now. We're in an if but and maybe market. We're a market controlled by shorts who do not want to add. You don't want to be adding new position shorts. If you're a swing trader, remember, most participants in this market will be swing traders. They won't want to be short at the lows, right? So they'll want buyer's trap. The higher, the better, and then they can sell into it. Hopefully that would make sense. Sorry. I know I had to like sort everything out there, but it will make sense to you now why I'm saying the next level we're going to trade down to on a daily is all the way down here. It is so far down. Maybe a bit higher than that. Why has that gone quite so far? Here to here, I need to pull that up. Let's just do another one there. Here. So a long way. It's a long, long way down for the next big daily pivots. If we're going to stop halfway, we can think about that as well. Liquidity sat under 300, I'd say. Yeah, 330s, big liquidity pool. We might find a bid into in and around 900 for that big down close candle, but I can show you what I'm looking at so it makes sense to you on a daily. You're probably like, what is this guy on about? All right, just follow me here. Last time we had big breakdown. All right, this is going into summer last year. There's your liquidation wick. Pivot up above, change of character. Pull back in, higher low, 61% probably, or 50% pullback into here. And then we ground out from it. So these guys here become key. What level was that? 18,930s roughly. All right, 18,930s. If you look at this here, where we started bidding aggressively off, all the way down to 18,930s. If we look at this morning, where do we get down towards? Not too far from 18,930s. This is what I mean. We don't want to be short in areas where we know higher time frame swing buyers started participating. We need drives further up. It makes sense now why I didn't want to get short down there. That with the Bollinger Band makes total sense, doesn't it? Higher time frame. I'm always looking at higher time frame. You cannot just short because we're moving lower. You have to understand where buyers are looking to participate higher time frame. If we get acceptance here, this is the area we're going to drive up to. That IB high, the New York high, and then up into these pools up here, 236. There's still plenty of meat on the table. If you're in this long, congratulations. I'm kind of thinking I've missed the boat here, probably. One thing that's also interesting is ES is so strong. It's not too far away from previous day low here on ES. If ES gets acceptance through previous day low, so if you're long ES, you're looking at 592s, 596s, and a back test of basically 5,602. Acceptance over that, it has gap fill potential. It's unlikely, but it has gap fill potential. You should not be looking for a short in this right now. Momentum is upside on the lower time frame. That can shift very, very quickly. And if it shifts, we'll join. Otherwise, you should, if you're in this as a long and you like it, if you're going to get acceptance in this range and you like it, you can think about that upside move. We all know I prefer the pro trend moves. That's always the move that I prefer. Back to view up here. So chop, chop, chop. Even this move here. 40 odd points in a minute. Right, I'm going to get refill coffee and I'll be right back. All right, looking like a failed break there, isn't it? chop back into the range, back to the trend, back to the flow zones, but you can see the higher time frame sellers trying to come back in. Notice the volume exchange there, key. High time frame sellers coming back in. ES now testing its initial balance high. If ES fails to hold the IB high, there's a rotation day possible. Remember, the NQ did not take out its IB high yet. You have slight divergence there in terms of positioning in the market. Apple so strong. Is there Apple news today? Why is that 0.75% up? That's really, really incredible. Holding on to that sort of 220 level that I've been barking on about for about 6 months now. It's a big under over level that. So yes, back to its initial balance high. Does it hold this IB high? If the next push up starts to fail, I'd be slightly concerned here if I was a bull. So far, ES holding that IB high. ES key level here into 85s. If it rejects 85s, I'd be slightly worried here. If it can start to reprice through 85s, and I think shorts get stuck who played against that supply block. Remember, has it swept that? No, it's still got liquidity above there on ES into 92s that we talked about. So there's still levels up there for it to gun for. It didn't quite get there. It was 3 ticks short. Through 92s, it trades 96s. It was 3 ticks short there on the ES. Hopefully, at the very least, I've kept you lot safe, at the very least. Definitely not an easy trade day here. You know, I have to wait for better prices for the shorts and or better momentum. ES rejecting that 85 there. I'd be very, very concerned there on the ES. Very, very concerned. Like I said, if it rejects 85, I'd be very, very worried, and it just did. If it starts letting go of the initial balance here, I'd be very, very careful. You're still in this uptrend here, but this is huge, huge levels now for the market because ES came into 91.25. It would be better, if I was thinking about the short, it would be better if ES broke through sort of 95 and then turned back down. It's left a lot of resting liquidity above as a magnet for it to aim for, a lot. So I don't like the short until really it's cleared all of that out. And then we're into acceptance of higher prices stage as well. So recovering here. There you go, through 85. So now it wants to go and take out that liquidity high. See how quickly you have to pivot in this market. Remain bullish. It held 2-minute flow zones. It held IB. It had one little flutter of failing 85, now repricing it. My drive now, I would be expecting it to go and take out that daily high, as in session high, and then drive up towards 95s. Through that, you'd be looking at previous day low towards 600 or just above 600. There's big back and forth here. These are massive levels on multiple time frames right now. Remember, we're executing on a lower time frame, but these are big, big levels on hourly charts, 4-hour charts, daily charts. Lots of push-pull here. It's rejecting it after peeking through here. You're back to trend here on the Qs. Lots of push-pull, back to initial balance high, back to a potential RBS level on the ES. Like I said, big, big levels here. It will make a decision soon enough. Either they get the squeeze and they go higher, or they keep trying to get that move and they give up and this just snaps and rolls over. Remember, if you are long in this, you are counter trend, you have to be careful. You must be careful. Think about your sizing. Think about taking profits, locking some in, because at some point, higher time frame sellers will come back in and try to take control. The question is when. When is that the time for them? There's the break. So breaking trend here. And if they're going to aim for liquidity, they're going to go 100s and then 92s. Still don't like. They've left so much liquidity to the upside here on ES. It's hard to trust any thought of a short right now. Tricky day, folks. Tricky day. How many of you have managed to sit on your hands? How many of you have taken trades? Is there a setup there that you like? Let me know in chat. How many of you have traded too much? You didn't have the discipline and you're getting chopped up a bit. Back towards VWAP now. This looks like it wants to liquidate a lot of the late bulls in this move. Like I said, the biggest problem here is that we've left liquidity higher. I don't like that we've left sellers in this market higher. We've left all those sellers in at sort of 592. They're totally happy there and comfortable. That's very unusual for us to think about moving lower without taking them out. Very quiet here, chat. Only long-time buyers coming in here have inside information. Yeah. Shorts early, Thomas. If you took shorts early, you did very well. Proud to be patient. Yes, Logan, exactly. Must be patient. Yeah, scalps is fine. If you took the counter trend and you understand what you're doing, that's great, Gus. Nice work. Leron sitting on hands. Jeff, 1 win, 2 losses. Hey, no worries. As long as those losses are small. Ryan took 1 trade off the first pullback this morning. Short, that's it. Been listening to Brain FM and traded too many W's, 7 wins and a silly loss. What's Brain FM? Not heard of that. Stopped out break even at the low on ES, but controlled my risk. So happy. Hey, that's all that matters, Julian. Here you go. So now, this is what worries me about the short. Like I said, if you think about ES, it's left all that liquidity higher for it to drive to. That's why I'd be very, very concerned about the short here still. Maybe we get a better afternoon session here today after it's finished chopping and building. Trend tree, I took a trade earlier with a W. Pat took shorts this morning, passed a take profit trade. Past take profit trader with that and took my daily limit on Tradeify to keep 20%. Nice work, Pat. Very nice work. Trend tree, no more trades for me. JJ, no trades yet. I'm okay not trading today. Yeah, that's how I feel. I got a feeling we might get a good trade here, either just before lunch or in the afternoon session. I'm also quite happy to wait for the rest of the day. Remember, we had a big Friday, right? We had a monstrous Friday. Not every day is going to offer the same opportunities. ES rejecting up there again. It keeps finding sellers up there above 85. We're still at trend again here. This is not clear and obvious. It still has liquidity above 92 that it can go and attack. It keeps selling short of that. Binaural beats. Oh, nice. I've made some of those. I've made a few of those for clients before. Chrissy W got W earlier, but now I took a silly move for a small loss. Key there, as you said, small. That's what really matters. Don't worry about it. Julian took a long on MCL. That was nice. My backup to the indices. Jeffrey, I think today is one and done. Have a great rest of the day. Hey, have a great day, Jeffrey. Patient here. It's the key. I know the range is big. You can look at this and think, oh, I should have got that, and I could have got that, and I could have got that. But is it clear and obvious? The only thing that was clear and obvious to me was probably this, and there's no liquidity to aim for. And that's the big problem with that move, and the Bollinger Band is here. So that was a no. I didn't trade that for that reason. This pull up inside looked pretty good. Maybe could have started thinking about a long here, to be honest. That was probably what I should have done. And even this, after sweeping these guys out, that was probably a long. So maybe there was one scalp here, two scalps here. At best. And these are, I would class these as B trades, right? They counter trend, wash them out, long back up. At best. All right, here goes the ES. It's going to have one more attempt here at trying to push that higher day to break out through those 92s. AGA S, very few quick shorts and one long or an average of 10 points. Very tricky market. I'm staying away from it. Yeah. I guarantee you there's a lot of people that got chopped up today. I absolutely guarantee you they would have got, like we talked about, they would have got short at the lows. Right, momentum traders would have been like, oh, I'm getting short down here for a break. But where are you breaking towards? Where's the magnet? That's why we didn't take it. And then there are people that would have probably tried to get long here for the break of this, not seeing that this liquidity needed to be swept. So they lose again there, too. And maybe they take this liquidity, which is building out a few times too early, and get chopped. That's 3 losses, and that's them done for the day. Very, very possible. Very, very possible. Jack Huckins, I've changed my undisciplined ways. Jack, does that mean you're not guessing tops and bottoms anymore? I'm going to be a very happy man. I remember that you didn't guess it a while ago. Last time I saw you in chat a while ago, you had a really nice day of just joining in with the trend. Made me very, very happy. No more. Oh, Jack. Way to go, buddy. Way to go. That probably makes me happier than anything else, right? Because that's the hardest habit to shift. Once you shift that habit and change your mindset, you are on a good path for success now, my friend. All right, there goes ES. Peaking through high of day. Remember, ES is looking to sweep all these liquidity levels out. So it's tapping into it. 92 is a big level. Above that, 92.75. Above that, 94.25, I think I've got. And then above that, basically 96s. So ES is looking to take all those shorts out of the game. Once it gets through there, it has the chance to go and back test previous day low. Hey, Tony, what's going on, buddy? Long time. Tony, a fellow professional DJ. You can check out his stuff. The Cool Cats had some really cool releases back on the day on Get Physical and Nervous and what else? Cuff. What else were you on, Tony? Loads of stuff back in the day. Are you still playing in Mexicali? Hope you're doing well. All right, so one level of liquidity popped there. Tool room, yeah. Yeah, tons of stuff. One level of liquidity popped there on the ES. It traded through 92s. VIX still fading. So VIX looks like it's going to fill this whole gap. It's coming down towards previous day high, right? Trading down towards 22s. VIX staying heavy, the market getting a relief. All right, we're in squeeze territory on the market. VIX is going to trade down to 22.17. If it's going to fully close the gap, it's going to trade down to 21.66. But 22.17 will be the old previous day high. And this is probably the first target here. If you're holding runners here, if you took this, congratulations. Again, I gave you the reasons I didn't take it, but it's looking great for you now. I would be taking some off here because you're through the IB. The next level is right here. These guys here, their stops here, so sort of into 29 and 38. If you can get a squeeze, especially if it's violent, you must be selling some into there and then hold runners for the Globex level, this orange box above. There goes the ES, so it's taken everybody out the market now. So ES is going to come and back test previous day low now. So 602.25 on the ES. It looks good for a trade up to 5,602.25 on the ES. So ES basically is the equivalent of back here. All right, ES is by this green line here. That's how much stronger than the ES is right now. It's trying to get up to here. Ramus, $1,000 made in 4 trades, playing the ranges on 3 M&Q risk off right now. Hey, love that, mate. And I love that you're playing 3 M&Q. Just like we talked about, keep nice and size down. You don't need a lot of size in this market. Right, the range and the ATR in this market is big. You do not need size. Nice work there. Yeah, Tony, just turn up every day and learn with me. John Dennis, $1,100 made on this move. Love it, guys. All right, just hold your runners here. We're coming for that liquidity at 236. You look good. Have one eye on the ES here in case it gets harshly rejected now that it's taken out all the liquidity and comes to back test previous day low. Now, this is the reason why we didn't like shorts today at the lows. So you'd be looking for this Globex level. You're looking for a pop through 37s, take you all the way up to 72s now. Really nice. So this white line about to get taken. Please, please, please pay yourself some money into this move. Please, please, please. It's counter trend. Okay, we don't know when this is going to stop. Maybe it goes another 200 points. We don't know, but you've got to pay yourself something. Seller on the tape at 250. That's in front of Globex. ES getting close to PDL. Scott, if you took that ES trade, you're looking great, mate. Great trade. First day back, absolute banger. Nice work. So very close to this liquidity pool here at 36. You can see all these guys. Sellers, 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 sellers. If you can pop all of them, you get that squeeze up higher. I would imagine it wants to take them out of the market, but who knows in this market? But you would think it wants to take them out of the market here. Big drive from ES, got very close to previous day lows. Wicked through 5,600, that psychological level. Got 2 ticks through it, found some sellers. It only needs to go a couple points more to come and test previous day low. Yeah, you will be rusty, but it made it very, very tricky for you. It didn't do that. It's not like it held IB really clean. You know, it failed IB and it failed the retest of 86, 85, like 1, 2, 3 times. It made it really, really tricky before doing it. So if you got that, you did really, really well, mate, especially in your first day back. All right, sellers on the tape here, 250. 19,250 sellers on the tape. I still think this wants to drift higher to take out the liquidity, but there's no long entry here. You're already in this long from the reclaim. You're already in this long here and here and here. I gave you the reasons I'm not taking it. Like I said, it doesn't fit my parameters. It doesn't mean it can't fit yours. For me personally, it's not what I was looking for. Like I said, I want to be very careful in here because this is where, if we look left, what's price done in here? I don't want to do this for the rest of the day for me. That's not fun. That's not my type of price action. If we're going to do that, we're going to look for failed breakouts and we're going to sell edges back down. Failed breakouts and buy edges back up. Breakouts to the downside under here, we're going to sell. If we break out, back test, we're going to sell. I'm not interested in this personally. Inside the orange, not for me personally. I've said it all morning long. I said it pre-market. It's the one thing I don't want to do is get stuck in the Globex range. If you're already long in this, you look fantastic. Would the break and retest of the IB high long be on the table since we're in this range? On IB high, yeah, but you'd have to give it a little bit of room because structurally, there's your IB high, but really we can come back down here and grab a long here. And I'd want to see it prove itself because I'd be really worried that we roll. Because the main move is what, Ryan? The main move is this. So this is a pullback. And at some point, sellers will come back in and go for lows. Thank you. Being very annoying, leaving this. How many times have we seen this recently? It leaves this and it comes back for it later today or tomorrow. I've seen it so many times recently. So back into RBS levels. Remember, this here can be an RBS level. I know that IB's up here, but it's just a wick. Really, most of the action is down here right now. And point of control right now as well is into 160s. All right, so watching those 160s and around there to see if they hold price. All the time they're holding that, you look good for continuation upside. If we start failing back underneath, I'd be very, very careful about a failed auction. Take care, Max. Catch you tomorrow. But yeah, congratulations. All of you who got that long, really nice trade. It took forever to do it, didn't it? It took forever. VIX finding a bid in front of previous day high. ES finding a sell on the ask in front of previous day low. Not quite taking every external level of liquidity, but taking out all the internal levels. This structure remains bullish on the lower time frame for now. On the lower time frame that you're looking at, the structure remains bullish. Back into these key levels. Very careful here. If they find a bid, we go back for the external levels of liquidity. If they can't find a bid and they start ducking inside, late buyers are going to get trapped. Those buyers above the IB will get trapped. Those are the two plays. You've got auction and failed auction here setting up. You've got divergence in that ES is still above the IB, NQ considerably below it. We're trading back down to the 930 print. The New York Open, we're trading back down to VWAP. We're trading back down to the Globex level. Remember I said hit inside here, you have to be very careful. Inside here, you have to be very careful. Here, failure and under, there's a short. Failure dip and rehold, there's a long back up. Here, failure over and under, there's a short. Acceptance over, there's potential squeeze. I really don't want to play that. I think that's risky, but those are the technical setups. If you're due a payout or you're looking to get a payout, remember you can always use today as a rotation day. You could trade one M&Q or even less. You could less volatility. You could trade one MES, put it on and take it off straight away. So you lock in a trading day. Always remember you can do that. On a day where your price action not setting up for what you want, you can do a quick in and out. Nothing wrong with doing that. Structure's still bullish, but we're underneath initial balance on the NQ. We are over it on the ES. We've left external liquidity for it to hunt for if it really wants to. We're coming back down towards that 930 open print. We did just find bids off it. If we start failing underneath here, we can drift lower. If we keep absorbing off this level, then we remain bullish. Remember, this is resistance becomes support until proves otherwise. All right, if we come under here, we can think about a return lower because there's lots of liquidity we can hunt for here. Look, all the stops, buyers, buyers, buyers. Right, I don't really want this short. That's very risky. I want this short here if we're going to get it. Or even better, I want this short here. Back down to here, runners for lower. That's even better. That's more like an A setup. This is maybe a B setup. We take out all of liquidity from overnight. That's maybe an A setup. If they reclaim overnight, where can we squeeze to? Previous day low, previous day close. This is an anchor off the sell, remember. So this level here is going to be massive. This needs to be red. Clearly broken down underneath that. I'm going to just triple check what this level is. So still absorbing. So Ryan, you look good. That long looked good so far. Still absorbing. Like we said, the IB really should have been down here today. It's just because we had that wick open. But most of the level was down here. If they sell into this now, it's a problem. You will get a lower high set, which will be confirmed by a lower low. And at that point, I'll be thinking about the short. Until then, structurally, we're still bullish. right? Boom, boom, internal range, little peek out, internal range, push, pull. Can they push again? If they fail to push again, we go down. They've got reason to push again because ES can close its level to previous day low. If they keep getting stuck here, we're going to think about failed auction. So you should be prepared for everything I'm looking at right now. I'd prefer one of the shorts to be setting up. How's the book map looking? Pretty thin, to be honest, Aaron. We got a seller up at 250. There was a seller in front of that at 230. He just pulled his order. He wasn't very big, though. So selling into 250, some more sellers, very, very light, up at 275. But there's not that big spoofer who was on the tape this morning. He's left. He's obviously got filled. Whatever his game is, I'm going to guess it was to buy the market back up. He's clearly got filled and left the tape. So momentum staying upside right now. ES dragging the market up with it. Low hanging fruit on the ES will be to go to that previous day low if it can get there. Remember, we've taken out all internal liquidity on the ES. The only low hanging fruit left will be a trade to previous day low, 602.25. Through that, it will be a trade to previous day close, 623.25. It really got going, it can go and close that gap. There's no reason why it can't close that gap if it wants to. You cannot be just willing to short against this momentum. Shorts got stuck at the beginning of the day. Why are we drifting higher? Anyone who's joining late, shorts got stuck down here. Why did they get stuck? Because they failed to understand, statistically speaking, it is almost impossible to be moving down below this orange mark. Look, how many times do we ever move beneath or above this? It's very, very rare. This is the first close I can see above it, and it's barely above it. We had one down here. So you have to be aware of how we move on daily levels. Getting short at lows is a really easy way to get absolutely wrecked. Same as buying highs. We're moving up because those shorts are currently stuck. If we get enough buyers chase in, then higher time frame shorts will use those buyers' liquidity to pair off short against if there's a price that they want to enter at. If it comes up high enough where they're like, yeah, this is a price I want to enter at, then they're going to start pairing off against those buyers, trap late buyers, and rotate it back down to lows. How many people would have got short right at the lows today? A lot. I guarantee you they would have seen the fear in the market. They would have been like, we're going to puke. They wouldn't have stopped and taken the time to look at key levels on the daily and the weeklies. You still look good here. Driving up here, I think you're going to come and take out these big levels here, 38s. 38s and then a move into 50 and 60s here. Looks good for you. So Ryan, hopefully you grab that. Make sure you're paying yourself a little bit into this move into 38s. Into this, or 36s, sorry, 36.75. This white line, that's basically the liquidity you're looking to take out. This should cause a stop run. And it could very quickly, this stop run could very quickly get you up here. You must be selling. All right, as in if you're a buyer here, you've got to be selling into this move up. All right, what you don't want is that. So you've got to sell some of your profits into that squeeze up. All right, remember your counter trend. This is shorts getting squeezed out of the market right now. This is not bidding. There's no higher time frame bids coming in this market. It's just a pullback. Value area high would be a trade into 1937 as well. It's a massive level all round here. But we get through that, you trade 275s, but you've got to please, please, please be selling some into that. And do not buy up into the top side of that range. You're asking to get wrecked. So VIX almost to previous day high, ES almost to previous day low. Once you get there, low hanging fruit's gone other than closing the full gap all the way to the cash gap on Friday. It'd be an impressive move to close the gap, but it's possible. I'll be right back. Just going to use the bathroom. Okay, liquidity taken. How many of you got that? Hopefully some of you paid yourself. Internal liquidity taken there. ES banging on the previous day low there. So ES now, if it can get acceptance above previous day low, it will aim to close the gap. That would be a trade all the way up to 623s. The low-hanging fruit definitely gone here. NQ can trade up to here. ES is already at this green line. Okay, so you understand ES is already at this green line. It's previous day low. That's where ES is right now. So higher time frame conditions have moved into liquidity building stage that we talked about. We're trend bullish, lower time frame, higher time frame building liquidity. Why? Because it needs someone trapped to do the next move. It cannot move without one side trapped. It's impossible for the market to move based on nothing. Ryan got it. Nice work. So used 2 micros, sold one already, maybe too early, so left with just one. Hey, that's really good. That's really, really good. Third 20-pointer for Jeff. Nice work. So ES now through previous day low. Now, what I'd say is we do have divergence here in that the SPY is not at previous day low. It is trying to close a gap in towards after hours levels from Friday. Previous day low on the ES will be a trade into 555. Cash gap will be a trade into 555.70 on the ES. So there's a bit of divergence here between the ETFs and the futures markets here. Relative weakness remains in the Qs. Okay, remains in the Qs. You can see why my bias was not to get short at the lows. We're into acceptance now, into that range where I don't really want to trade. If we can pop through and run everyone out, I'm going to be more interested in taking something. Big ifs right now. Extend these levels on Ninja Trader so I can see properly. Constantly having to update. Lindo, I'm absolutely killing it on gold using your methods on the course. Yeah, it's because I've said it here before. Gold respects Malaysian SNR really well, and it loves the flow zones. It loves liquidity and it loves Malaysian SNR. And my belief is because I reckon 80% of the traders on gold are in Asia. Definitely the hedge in gold, which started at like $1,800 or before last year when they started buying gold and selling the dollar. That was all of Asia. All of Asia started doing that. China and Japan started dumping the dollar and buying the gold, and they play off Malaysian SNR. That's just how they play, believe it or not. It's a big part of how I teach. 19,250, big level. 600 seller above that, if you believe it. I don't believe it. I think he's nonsense. I reckon that's the same player, but we're going to find out. So ES swept previous day low, turning back inside here. Everything remains bullish here, lower time frame. All right, we're back testing key levels. Lower time frames drifting higher to back test key levels. Why have the Lions got a live stream? What's going on there? Is that a coach's talk? It just appeared with a notification for me. Any rugby fans out there? It must be Andy Farrell and the coaching team doing a talk of some sort. John Dennis got another $1,335. Thank you, Alex. Have a great day, everyone. Lovely work, John. Lovely work. You guys are doing exceptionally well today. Trentry, I'm getting more familiar with your trading live and the course. Hey, nice. Just give it time. It will all start to come together. It always does. It takes a little bit of time. It will not happen overnight. Right? You don't become a master of anything overnight. You just got to give it time. Said to a friend of mine last week, the quickest way to become a profitable trader is to slow down. It's never truer word said than that. The quickest way to become an unprofitable trader is to try and do everything really fast. All right, you put me on a court with I don't know, Steph Curry, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed. Even if I think I'm good at basketball and I just read a few books, I'm going to get destroyed. It's no different in trading. Remember, trading is a zero-sum game. For every trade that you're winning, there is someone the other side who is losing, right? It is competitive in that nature. Don't compete against people on YouTube or posting profits, but it is competitive in that every time you're buying from someone who's selling against you. So someone is going to lose. It's a zero-sum game. And most people in the market are retail traders who haven't got a clue what they're doing. And we want to take their money. And the way we take their money is by following what the institutions are doing. Because institutions use their money for fun. Right? They abuse those retail traders. And that's what we want to do. We want to get in a slipstream of a whale, make a bit of money, jump off, get out, enjoy our day. Nice, Ryan. Good work. Blue Collar Studio. I bought 2 straight to sim 50k accounts using your code Danka. Hey, Danka Blue Collar. Thank you very much, my friend. All helps. It goes straight back into the live stream and just invest everything back into the live stream. John Dennis, quickest way to become a profitable trader is to take your course and join the stream. Eh? I agree with that personally. I don't know if everyone does, but I agree. I wish I had this course when I learned. I learned off some absolute cowboys and I learned some really hard lessons. Structure remains bullish here, team. Foster Scott, I'm out for the day. Appreciate you, Alex. Hey, I appreciate you, mate. I'm glad you're back to full health and I'm glad you're back. Great to have you back. We've missed you on stream and in the Discord, my friend. You've been missed. It's been noted. Great to have you back. So drifting higher, I'm going to delete this white line because we've taken that liquidity. Orange box is the next target. Kaladin, 2 small W's, 1 small loss today. Might spend the rest of the day on the last 20% of the course. Hey, nice, Kaladin. Yeah, I'd say the last 20% probably takes the longest because the lectures get a bit more dense because we start putting everything together. So the first half of the course you can get done really quick. You're like, oh, this is easy. And the last 20% takes a bit of time. Just got in. I'm kind of back after my surgery. Hey, Tyson, take your time, mate. If you've been at the doctor's or the hospital and had surgery, no need to trade, especially if you got some drugs in your system right now. Be very careful. If you're high on morphine or something, definitely don't be coming to the market to trade. Alex C, $600. Thank you very much, Alex, in the market. Nice work, Alex C. Look at you guys all winning. Give me some W's in chat. If you made some money today, give me some W's in chat. Hopefully you made some good money today, team. I love it. I love it. I love you guys doing well. So 605 seller on the offer here above 250. I don't think he's real. I reckon it's the same guy as before, but we're going to find out. Look at all of you lot. I love it. Bay Trader with a W, Julian with a W, Kevin with a W, Andrus with a W, Lee Kim with a W, Kaladin, JJ, Lindell, Aga. Ryan, I tend to move my stops too close and miss out on profit. Any tips? Just do them based on structure. Sizing down will allow you to allow them to have a bit more room, but you're already using small size, so. And you can always get back in, remember. Alan Bailey made money. John Dennis. Priska. Good to see you, my friend. Ibuprofen since Saturday. Oh, that's good. Nothing too strong, Tyson. I tell you, the last surgery I had was a long time ago. It was a little story here, if you want. It was on my honeymoon. I was in Sri Lanka. Me and my wife spent the first 10 days traveling through Sri Lanka, through the mountains, up through Kandy, did the train, had a great time, was incredible. And then we booked like a 5-star hotel for 10 days right on the beach to surf. Beautiful 5-star hotel, nothing else around. I'd been in the water 45 minutes surfing and a big set of waves came and I didn't get to turtle roll. I was already off my board, so I ducked under the wave and the leash went right around my finger and the board went that way, and I went that way, and my finger completely snapped off, and it was only held on by some skin. The nail bed came straight through the roof of it, and the bone was sticking out the side. And it was incredibly painful, and it meant I couldn't surf or do anything for the next 10 days. So we went straight to hospital. We got a tuk-tuk with a little siren on to take us to hospital. And I had surgery in Sri Lanka, and they did a good job, and I had some pins put through it. But they gave me some really, really, really strong drugs. And I was determined not to ruin my honeymoon. So I came home. My wife went out to get some cash, and I didn't realize how high I was on drugs. And I came home to the hotel, and I showered up, and I put a shirt on and some chinos and some nice shoes. And she got in expecting me to be in an absolute state. And I was high as anything. I was like, let's go out. And we went out for a 5-star meal. I had my arm in a cast like this, wrapped up. And I ordered yellow king crab with the claws, which obviously I couldn't use. And the waiter was like, sir, I don't think you should order that. And I was like, don't tell me what to do. I want the yellow king crab. Yeah. So when you're high, you do stupid things, because I basically had to be spoon-fed by my wife and the waiter that night. It was a nasty break. Nasty break. Minor surgery, really. I was lucky. They did a really good job. But I haven't had any surgery since then. Touch wood. Touch wood. Been good. And that was, 6 years ago now. Alex C, you're the best coach and sound very good person, Alex. Hope you do this always. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Hair surgery? I don't need hair surgery. What are you talking about? Get out of here. No turkey trip for me, cheeky bugger. Yeah, exactly, Lyndall. And I'm not like that. That shows the drugs in my system. That's the point. Thinking, yeah, I'm going to have king crab. Yeah, and she's stuck with me. Exactly. She's stuck with me. All right, so we're still hunting those Asia highs right now. All right, we're hunting for Globex. If you're wondering what that orange box is, if you're just joining the stream, all right, it's the Globex. Look at London and Asia. There's a lot of stops here into 72. It's what the market's trying to make its way back towards. If you think about this today, we've basically broken under. There's the inverse head. It's trying to build up towards here. Either here, we're either going to get acceptance. Oh, don't do that. We're either going to get acceptance above that and keep drifting. All right, if they put on a big old squeeze today, they can keep drifting up towards previous day high and previous day close. Or we get above that, dive inside, and there's a short opportunity back down into the range. Remember, we did this here. It's very possible we do this here. If you got this long, you've done very, very well. And like I said, I wasn't interested in participating in here today. I made myself a promise. Probably look like a bit of an idiot now, because that's going to offer a 100-point trade off that very simple pullback into flow zones. Very, very simple. Into flow zones, into a resistance, becomes support, into a multi-time frame level. Remember, this is also an hourly level, and we're going upside towards here. But hey, at least I stuck to my rules. I'm not going to punish myself for not taking a trade if I stuck to my rules for the day. Tyson, yeah, I had an artificial disc put in my neck, fixing the herniated disc from BJJ. If you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Hey, mate, how are you only on ibuprofen for that? You are a tough son of a gun to only be on ibuprofen for that. I would be asking for everything possible. Okay, that 600 lot, he's just lifted and moved higher. He's trying to drag the market up towards 300 now. 300 will be towards the bottom of the gap. Where's that gap? 320, the gap. Yeah, 500 ibuprofen. So exactly. I'd be on a lot stronger than that. I'd want some opioids, I reckon, but obviously those are highly addictive. What's the sort of process back for you now, Tyson? I'm guessing you're no jiu-jitsu for you for a while now and rehab. Take care, Ryan. Have a good one, mate. I want to make sure this is super accurate here. Ninja. So finding some selling in front of where those sellers were before. I would expect us to take that out. We might get a 3 drive here. Maybe you get 1, 2, 3, and then the sell might start. Maybe. It's just potentially what might set up. After we run these guys out, it's potentially what might set up. If they start causing a bigger squeeze here, obviously it's a very different scenario. Johnny boy, I had 2 levels fused in my neck in 2005 and I still do jiu-jitsu. You just got to be careful who you train with. Yeah, I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure there's lots of egos when you go to spar and they try and roll around full strength when you don't really want to do that. Apparently they rarely even send people home with a collar after the procedure. Wow, I heard of a guy who won Muay Thai fight 3 months later. That's incredible. I'm guessing you've read all the stories, but I watched Kurt Angle's film and then listened to him on Rogan as well. That was incredible. But he had a major addiction to opioids from, I think, broke his spine 3 times in the end. Won an Olympic gold with a broken spine. How nuts is that? Okay, so the internal level here that they'll look for, if they're going to trap and continue higher, they're going to come down under here and then do this move to take all this out. It's a big if because low-hanging fruit on ES got taken. We already took previous day low. How long we got left here? Oh, only 4 minutes till lunch. I'll be teaching by the end of the month, but no sparring for at least 2. Yeah, Angle's story is crazy. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? What a nice guy, though. What a nice guy, and very honest. I didn't realize also he was what was the school? Is it Foxglove, where they had like the paedophile coach or owner that they did that film with Channing Tatum? He was one of the big wrestlers there. He was friends with the guy that ended up killing himself. Foxcatcher, that's it. Crazy story. Crazy story. Yeah, he was nuts. Absolutely nuts. What if you haven't seen the film, folks? It's an old film now. Steve Carell and Channing Tatum, Foxcatcher, true story. Great film. But watch that and then either watch Kurt Angle's film or listen to his podcast with Rogan. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. What the body can tolerate is incredible. You live a few miles away from his property. Whose property, Pat? Kurt's property. It's sad as well because he lost. Oh, the DuPont guy. Oh, really? It's sad as well because I think Kurt lost a lot, didn't he, through like addiction, and talks about it very honestly. I always respect people who are honest about the trials and tribulations that they've gone through. Life is never easy, and we live in a world where everyone wants to show their best life on Instagram, and it's just not reality. No human has. Very rarely do you have like this very easy, nice life. It's normally full of trials and tribulations, and we need to be a bit more honest about that so that other people don't think their life is so bad because what they're viewing on Instagram isn't real. Very dangerous for kids, that, I think. All right, so a little micro head and shoulders here, but still what I don't like is we have not taken those highs. It is a worry here. It's very, very scared to take a short here, even if we start failing, knowing that we left those highs. The orange boxes, look left, we've left these highs. I do not like that. That is very typical of NQ recently. New hourly bar coming in 40 seconds here, folks, as well. Just be aware of that. How did I become a trader? I went for interviews back in, I can't even remember the year now, post-university. I interviewed in Cairo and Dubai. I was really interested in taking it. My best friend was a trader. I think I talked about this last week. Who I lived with in London at Morgan Stanley, and then he left Morgan Stanley and was at Standard Bank, and now he trades his own book. So he's been going, well, we're 40 this year, so he's the same, or he's a year younger. So he's been going 19 years. And I fell into a different career, just like my life started taking a different direction. I was lucky. I had a different career in the arts and entertainment. But I made some all right money, and I used to trade with that money and invest that money, and didn't always make very good decisions. And so I started learning and re-educating myself and taking it more and more seriously, I'd say about 8-9 years ago. And then when COVID hit and I'd moved to California, I couldn't tour anymore. So it became my full-time gig. And it's been a bit of an obsession ever since then. But yeah, it kind of forced my hand into it because, I mean, obviously I couldn't travel during COVID. I had international tours to Australia lined up, and unfortunately my agent also passed away during COVID, and there was some other stuff which I won't go into on stream, not very nice stuff with my mentor and some other people, and it just put me off the industry. I was like, I'm done. So it kind of forced my hand a little bit, and it was probably a good thing. I still make music. I have a few aliases. I still make music for clients. I'm still in business with my business partner at Tough Love. We talk every single week, but I just don't tour. I'm not interested in touring anymore. So it's a kid's game. You got to be young or absolutely in love with it, and I'm neither of those things anymore. I love music, but I'm not in love with the industry. But I do love trading, and if I'm honest, more than trading, I love teaching. I absolutely love teaching. I love helping people. It's the best feeling ever if you can help impact someone's life for the better. That's what I really like, if I'm really honest. Way more than anything else. It's so rewarding to see you guys turn up on stream, especially those of you who are doing the course and you're starting to turn, your trading around, whether you've been in bad rooms before and learnt bad habits, which is what I'd definitely done, or you just struggle to find a set play and consistency. All right, here we're starting to do that move now. We just talked about it. Internal low, sweep, turn around and come back for these highs. All right, starting to do that move. Still holding flow zones. Everything's still in a buy. Look, the buy has been in since all the way down here. All right, there's the trap to go higher now, potentially, into this new hourly bar. All right, so this hourly bar might want to come and expand and take everyone out at 275. We're into lunch. So you should be runners only here or wrapping up your day, really. But yeah, I love teaching. I love helping people. When I see you lot making money, I've had some amazing messages recently from people who've learned from me in South America, and they're earning $500 to $1,000 a day consistently for the last month, and that is a huge amount of money for them and their family, and that's great. That's what makes me the happiest, to be honest. Makes me really, really happy to see that. That's how I feel I can make a positive impact in this world, is helping other people. And it gives me much more reward than, hey, I made a bit of money here today. I'm like I said, people that judge themselves off their income, you're doing it wrong. When we've left this world, no one's going to care. But if you've had a positive impact on other people, I think that matters. In whatever happens after this world, whatever you believe in, I think that matters. If you've had a positive impact on people, if you're a nice person, I think that matters more than what money you made in this world, what stupid car you buy, or even I'm guilty of it, or what stupid watch you buy. It doesn't matter. It's ego. I get caught in that, so I'm not like, it's not like I'm better than anyone in that sense. I do the same thing. I have luxury products I like spending money on, but it doesn't matter. What matters is your impact, your positive impact on other people. Andres Leonard, for example, benefit watching the pod. 3 lot today trade, 1 trade mounted regularly at this time after the open, 8 to 10. I'm not totally sure what you're saying there. Just an example of Bennett from watching the pod. What pod? Sorry, mate. I might have missed the message that you sent earlier. Was there news drop? I didn't see anything, but there might have been. Let me have a look. I had nothing programmed. We've got to get that news. They've got to fix that news filter for Discord. It's starting to really annoy me now. Otherwise, we've got to find another one. There was an earthquake magnitude of 6.12 south of Sumbawa in Indonesia. They're having a nightmare in Indonesia now, aren't they? That's the third one in about 5 days. Trump is planning to travel to Saudi Arabia in May. That's all I'm seeing. Not seeing much else. No other news. All right, folks, any questions before I leave here? We're into lunch. You need to be very careful if they start to roll this market. I would love the short. I've been waiting for the short. I want them to take this out and then fail, and then I'm going to think about the short. But maybe this afternoon I'm going to set price alerts. My live podcast. Oh, as in this right here, this show. I never think of it as a podcast, but I guess you're right. Blue Collar Studio, similar. I was a full-time animator in Burbank. Oh, you're just up the road. Now a full-time drummer in Las Vegas. Oh, amazing. Touring is a young man game. Nice to come home every night. Yeah, exactly. I think that was the other key thing for me during COVID. You know, I literally spent 10 years on the road all over the world. I was very lucky, very privileged to be able to do that as a job. It far exceeded any dreams I had as being a musician. But I never saw my wife. So during COVID, it was like a new thing for us. We got to actually spend time together. And then I was like, why do I want to go back on the road again? Like, I don't. And I just don't. I saw an interview, a friend of mine, Don Dollar, the other day. I saw an interview with him, and they asked him, any advice for newer DJs? And he said, yeah, make sure you can sleep sitting up, because that's what you're going to spend your whole life doing. And it's true. This whole TikTok thing, thinking it's this glamorous life, you spend all your time on planes, trains, and taxis and hotel rooms, and that's it. That's it. That's all you do. You travel. You're constantly jet lagged. You're constantly exhausted. That's the life. Take care, Tyson. Last day for Tradeify discount. It is indeed right here. Last day, end of March. 35% off today. I don't know if they're going to offer a new sale or what they're going to offer. They haven't told me. As soon as I find out, I will let everyone know. But right now, 35% off all accounts today is the last day. That's all you've got. Same with Apex, 80% off sale. I think ends tonight. I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it ends tonight, if not tomorrow. And I think Take Profit Trader as well. Use code FLOWZONE, one word. The link's down below. That's 30% off. I think today is the last day for that as well. Thanks, Alex. Another win. Done 4 for the day. Hey, really nice work, team. All right, so let me set you up with what I'd be looking for this afternoon. We've swept. All right, we've swept all these guys out. That's pretty good. If we base here, there's a chance that we come back for these guys. I really want to look for a pro trend short here. I'd love these guys out of the market. So for me, if we can get through these lot and then set a failure, I'm going to think about that short. Now, it's possible that we set this up for tomorrow rather than today. It might be that the rest of the day we do this. Like I talked about, why don't I want to trade this? This is what we did here. This can build liquidity here, and we can use it tomorrow. The pro trend is down. All right, the pro trend is down, but currently on the day, we're in drift higher mode. All right, we're in drift higher mode, and we're lacking targets. So now we do have some targets we could aim for internally. Right, you could think about this liquidity, but it's going to have to break under here and stay heavy for this move. And I would way prefer that move to happen if we take these guys out, then break under, then stay heavy. So for me, price alerts, I'll probably set a price alert. In fact, we can do it now on stream. Get used to doing this, team. It will stop you having to do this all the time. I have mine forward to my level. So I'm going to set it at this high. Maybe I have to not click on that. There we go. Add alert. Only once. And I'm going to add one under here as well. Add alert. I don't know if you guys can see that. Add alert. All right, so now I'm going to get a price alert, and they will also show on my phone, which is very useful. So now I'm like, right, I will know when we've expanded the range, and at that point I can come back. You have a refreshing outlook on life. I appreciate you sharing that. Thanks again, Alex. So you're welcome, Brandon. Right, so back to initial balance here. Be very, very cautious here. Remember, low-hanging fruit on ES was taken. We got to previous day low, and sellers came back in there. We didn't get there on the ES, but on the NQ, but you're starting to see selling in front of the Asia. So really, why I was saying, if you got long here, you had to pay yourself between here and here for this reason. Because if it didn't make it and ES got to previous day low, remember ES got all the way up here, took it and failed. Now you're back into sell. If sellers start taking momentum over, we go into a pro trend. What is the pro trend? Zoom out. What are we doing? Move down, consolidation. Move down, consolidation. It can break lower, all right? Be careful for the rest of the day, folks. And I'll be back tomorrow. Those in Discord, I'll pop in the room in a bit. Oh my gosh, this is just melting underneath while I'm talking into lunch. And we'll get going again tomorrow, okay? Get going again tomorrow. Big week of news ahead. Big week of news ahead. This is not a week to size up and do anything stupid. This is a week to let the market shake out, try and join the pro trend when and if it's there. If your setup is there, make some money, get off the screens and go again next week. Once we get, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, do what you want. In my opinion, once we get through the tariff news and we let everything settle down this week, because we know April 2nd is a big day, if we can get through that, let it settle down, we're going to have a bigger idea of what next, okay? And then we can think about those lower targets if we're going to go for trend lower, which is what I'd like to see on the daily. Once the 5-day catches up, the Bollinger Day expands, have those lower targets to aim for. At the moment, it's very hard to think about too much lower. Peace and love, everyone. Be kind to each other. Please use hard stops. All right, tweets, going to move the market very quick right now. Use hard stops. Be careful. There's no news scheduled. That anything can happen in this market, as you are well aware. Don't forget, those of you interested, don't kick yourself. Today is the last day to get the Tradeify sale, 35% off. Use code FZT. I think it's the last day for Take Profit Trader. My code there is FlowZone. And of course, if you're interested in doing the course, if today was your first day of turning up and you're like, I like how this guy trades and explains. I know I didn't trade much today, but I had a very big week last week. So if you're interested in doing the course, the link is down below. And I'll be back real soon. Everyone who's done the course is in Discord. I'll pop in the afternoon. Peace and love. Be safe. Use hard stops.